What's going on, everybody? John with ACTION-FLIX.com coming at you. It's Sunday night. It's roughly around 7:05 Panama City, Florida time. And we got the weekly intel coming at you hot. So this week's edition, a little bit lighter than last week. If you guys all watched last week's episode, CinemaCon was going on. There was like 8,000 things that was announced last week. And I got exhausted, and my shoulder yelled at me for trying to type all the shit that happened from the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover and all that good stuff. And so just a little bit of a fun show today. I got my co-host with me coming in here in a second or two. And we're just going to talk a little Wolverine, Deadpool, some Bren Foster stuff. I did an interview with him earlier this week, some good stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my co-host in, Mr. Shane the Action Nerd Logans. And he's got his doggy with him.
Only way to get him to calm down.
Everybody say hi. What's his name?
Say hi, Scrappy.
Scrappy.
Hi. Yep.
He's like, no. He's like,
no,
I don't
no, like,
he's like,
yeah, he jumps in my lap.
Get away from me. He's like, I don't.
There
He's like a diva. He's like, I don't want to be seen on camera. He's like,
very much so, yeah.
What's going on? How's it going?
Not too bad, man. Enjoying the weekend. Got to watch a movie I had never seen. So, I've admitted I'm a Guy Ritchie fan. I'm a Jason Statham fan. So I seen their latest collab, which was Operation Fortune. That was earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Just been relaxing. I'll tell this on here. Recorded an episode of my podcast, which will be airing on Thursday. You'll probably hear a familiar voice on it as well. So, yeah. John was nice enough to be the guest on it, where we finally discussed the movie Beyond White Space that
which
I mentioned on here.
Nothing about until he brought it up on my show a little while ago. I was like, I've never heard of this movie. I'm like, how did I not hear of this movie? And again, not to give anything away, but we chatted about it. Of course, I got passionate about other things as I normally do.
Oh yeah.
And we went off on different directions to the point where we forgot what we were talking about in the first place. But it happens. What are you gonna do? It's like
it happens.
It does happen. All right, so it's the weekly intel. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of good stuff. Like I said, a little bit lighter this week. Not a lot's been happening. Good movie week though. I've done 3 reviews this week. So let me put up my ACTION-FLIX website. So I did a couple interviews. I got Bren Foster. We all know him from The Last Ship, Maximum Conviction with Steven Seagal and Stone Cold Steve Austin, as well as Force of Execution. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare came out this weekend. I saw it yesterday. My review is up. Spoiler alert, I loved it. Rebel Moon, The Scargiver, came out on Netflix. Spoiler alert, I'm in the minority. I liked it. Sorry. Fuck all you people that came after me and said I didn't know what I was talking about. You know what? I liked it. So fuck off. And so that's what I have to say about that. And of course, Eric Jacobus, we all know him. He's the white guy that can do Hong Kong style Jackie Chan action. He had his Contour premiere 2 days ago. And I interviewed him earlier in the afternoon. So all that's up now. So let's get started with the big thing that happened today. There was a big announcement. We had a new poster for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Announced. I love that poster, by the way. It's like, I put on my caption, I put "Love is forever." It's like, it's like
exactly.
But Ryan Reynolds put it out. He wrote that Wolverine got his nails done for this, so that was pretty funny. But we got a new trailer coming tomorrow for Deadpool and Wolverine, and y'all know my opinion. Don't show anything. Just fucking just show stuff that's not going to give anything away. Don't show any cameos. Don't show any spoilers. Just show stuff that, people aren't going to, complain about that. I already know this, and it's
why should I complain about something? They're going to go.
Marvel's good. Marvel is good about not giving too much away in their trailers, especially like when Avengers Endgame came out. They were real good and cryptic with. They only showed and then some things they showed, they took things out of it, so that way didn't give anything away. So I'm not really worried about Marvel. Kevin Feige, he tends to, be like, listen, I'm not going to like ruin the movie going experience for everybody. Yeah. Your thoughts? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Deadpool 2 trolled us with because in the previews they showed us, like the X-Force actually going into action and taking care of business, and it's revealed that, oh well, after the movie came out, oh no, we just filmed that for the trailer. So they might show us something in the trailer just to fuck with us, like they did with the last one. So you never know.
Too. Yes, they are going to do. Yeah, I remember that. I still love Deadpool too, though. I mean, I had fun with it, and Josh Brolin was doing double duty as Cable, because of course he's Thanos in the MCU. But this wasn't the MCU at the time, when Deadpool and Deadpool 2 came out. So now it is, which is kind of cool, and I'm excited, because there's not a lot to get excited about this year in terms of summer movies. So that's pretty much the big one, and we have to wait till July for it. But there's a new trailer tomorrow, so I'm debating. I want to do a reaction, but like when I Disney, no offense, you guys are assholes. It's like we did the trailer reaction to Star Wars: The Acolyte, and they fucking took me off because we were talking about the trailer and showing it. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you don't want advertising? Oh, my bad. So I mean, I'll probably do one just to see like what happens. Maybe mute it. I don't know. It's I really like we'll just watch the visuals. We'll just be like, there's no sound, Disney. We're here to like talk up your movie. Not that it needs it, because it's freaking Marvel Studios. It's like it doesn't need my help to promote this movie, but we're talking about it. We're hyped about it. But Disney's like, nope. Can't do it. We're going to show you the trailer, but you know what? If you put it on your show, we're going to take you off because we're assholes. I'll probably get taken off for saying that Disney's assholes. Who knows? I mean, we might get cut like in the middle of this, operation going on tonight, but who knows? Whatever. But I'm a rebel. I'm not one to like, when people tell me I can't do something, I get really pissed off and I just want to do it even more. So we'll see what. But anyway, regardless of the fact, there's a new trailer coming out tomorrow. So we'll see if it blows up anything that we didn't want to know. So I'm curious. So I forgot to mention we're live on Facebook, X, or Twitter, and of course YouTube. And I see some of you guys are watching. So feel free to comment. Besides talking about some of the news that happened this week, we also got the mailbag, and it pretty much consists of one individual. His name's Tan Eugene. Either that or is it, I don't know if he's got his first name, because is it Eugene Tan or Tan Eugene? If Tan, let us know if we're saying it wrong.
Yeah.
But he's asked me like 8,000 questions about action cinema, and I apologized in the past that I've just been busy. But today we're going to go over some of his questions and see if we can offer our 2 cents. And again, it's just it's me and Shane speculating because we don't work for any of these people. So it's like,
I was going to say, I can be a real smart ass. I actually have more than just 2 cents in my jar here. So
I got a Captain. My daughter, I put her change in my Captain America piggy bank. I got a Captain America piggy bank, a Deadpool piggy bank, and a Batman one that my ex bought me before we separated. So they're on my microwave right now. They're in the kitchen. Yeah. So I mean, not much else to say about it. There's a trailer coming out tomorrow. I mean, so who knows like what we're gonna see. The other kind of cool thing, like I said, hang on, let me bring it up here for a second. Give me 2 seconds. I interviewed Bren Foster, who I cannot tell you what a nice guy this is. I mean, super, super nice guy. Talked to me and I can't tell you, like, there's a whole story behind this. I interviewed Bren Foster like 3 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And at the time, I wasn't as high tech as I am now. It's like I had my little trusty, it wasn't trusty as it turned out, but I had my audio recorder, and we did this great interview. We talked about The Last Ship and his movies with Steven Seagal, his martial arts training, and all that good stuff. And then I lost it because the freaking recorder went kaput. But then I got it back, and I was like, Bren, I got the interview back. I'm going to put it out. He's like, awesome. And then it crapped out again. And I'm like, Bren, it's not meant to be. He's like, it's all good. He's like, we'll do it again some other time. And then it's pretty much taken us like 3 years to coordinate another interview because of, basically it's my life that's gotten in the way of me interviewing Bren Foster. But again, so I was like, Bren, can we just start like we didn't do an interview in the first place? And he's like, John, you steer the ship. I will answer anything that you want to talk about. So we just basically did a do-over. But the biggest announcement was that his movie Life After Fighting, which there was a trailer that was released for this movie like last year, but it was one of those promotional ones, and it's since been taken down. So I didn't have any footage, but he announced we announced on the show that his movie is coming out June 7th, courtesy of Vertical Entertainment. So we'll all be able to see Bren Foster kick ass. And the premise is pretty cool, where he runs a dojo, and a couple of his students get kidnapped, and it deals with human trafficking, and he goes into beast mode to go save them. So it's got some heavy drama to go along with the ass kicking. But during the interview, he's like, "Hey, let me show you," and he shared me this has never been seen before. He gave me the posters for I was like, nice, thank you. It's very rare that I get exclusives, and he was so accommodating, and we talked about all kinds of stuff. And of course, we talked about Maximum Conviction with Steven Seagal and Stone Cold Steve Austin. He had great stories. We broke down his fight scenes in that one in Force of Execution. We talked about The Last Ship, where he plays Wolf Taylor, which is one of my favorite shows when it was on. And we broke down his fight scenes, a few of his fight scenes from there too. So a really good interview. If you want to check it out now, it's on my YouTube channel and my website. So with that, let me go down the line here and find some other stuff. I'm going to hit the Intel button on my website. And the other big thing is Donnie Yen is back. Now, here's the thing with Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen did a movie called Polar Rescue. And it was one of those movies that was starting to film during, and then the pandemic hit. And they stopped it. And then after the pandemic, subsided, he went back to filming it, but then it came out and nobody liked it. I guess because it was it was a rescue movie and people didn't like the cheesy drama. And I have not watched it yet, but not because, again, just because I haven't had the time.
Oh, yeah.
But now he's done a movie. It was called Misjudgment at one time, but now it's called The Prosecutor. And so he's got some new visuals from that. And I'm going to share you. Here are some of the visuals for that movie. So there's Donnie with a gun. That's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's Donnie throwing a flying sidekick, which is always a good thing. And there's some behind the scenes shots of Donnie Yen doing some fighting. So what's so good about that? Well, Donnie Yen's going to be fighting. So yay. So people should be happy because now Donnie Yen is going to be doing what he's supposed to be doing. So don't worry, everybody. He's not going to be rescuing his son from the polar ice caps. So actually, there's a synopsis that goes along with this, and this is from the Artie Dans. My friend, the Artie Dans, he runs the Asian Film Fans website, and he supplied a synopsis, and it says, "Well, Misjudgment. It's now called The Prosecutor. Is about a man who is framed for drug trafficking by a criminal syndicate in order to protect the identity of the real culprit. Yen plays the older version of the character whose case has been taken on by a new prosecutor who risks his career to reveal the truth." Ooh, super excited.
I'm just thinking it's Donnie Yen film. I'm most definitely going to be seeing it when it comes out, either physical media or maybe Haya or somewhere, because I'm a Donnie Yen fan. I love his films. His two favorite ones I can name off the top of my head was Legend of the Fist, The Return of Shenzhen, and Raging Fire. So, but that man is brilliant in my opinion.
I actually like Legend of the Wolf. That movie was insane. If you want to check out, like, it's batshit crazy, and it's just like it's got the wackiest of plots, and it's basically 90 minutes or plus of Donnie Yen, like. And this is back in the 90s, like, so, like, not that he's not fast now, but he was crazy fast back then, and it was just like, so yeah, so, and then Raging Fire, of course, In the Line of Duty 4 is considered a masterpiece. that he did in terms of, on-screen fighting and stuff like that. Yeah. So anytime Donnie Yen's in a movie, it's always cause for celebration, because
even like some of his more underrated films, like Big Brother, he did an excellent job in that one, and I enjoyed the hell out.
Fat Dragon. I like Fat Dragon. Return of with the Legend of Fat Dragon.
I own Fat Dragon. I have to watch that. It's one of those
It's
things like I
okay.
have to find time.
It's Donnie in a fat suit for a lot of the movie doing and he does good martial arts with the fat suit on, I must say, but yeah, Big Brother, that's a little bit more of a drama, with some kick-ass fighting in it, but a solid movie. And again, and that's the thing, I think that's why people didn't like Polar Rescue, because even when Donnie does the heavy drama, he's like, here, let me put in like 1 or 2 fight scenes just to appease my fans. But this one, it was just him like falling through ice and running from avalanches, and everybody was just like, we hate this movie. I'm like, wow. I was like, there's a lot of hate for Polar Rescue. But there's no release date for the Prosecutor for Asia, or I'm assuming Well Go USA or one of the distributors here is going to pick it up, and so whenever we know more, he's supposed to be filming Flashpoint 2 now in April.
Yeah.
So he's got that going on too. And I champion Scott Adkins to be in it, because I don't know if anybody remembers, Donnie shared a post for Flashpoint 2, and he called out Scott, and he was like, hey, Scott, you game? And then Scott answered back. He was like, to be involved in the sequel to one of the best martial arts movies of all time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So everybody thought like Scott Adkins was going to do it, but now Scott Adkins is filming Kickboxer
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Thank you. Yes, it slipped my mind. Yeah, the 3rd Kickboxer movie. So it looks like that's not going to happen unless they work some magic. And
I was gonna say, it's been quiet on Scott's front. I think the big thing besides John Wick 4 was Kickboxer Armageddon. So he is a definite down for the fans. I wouldn't be surprised if he filmed stuff secretly for Flashpoint 2 already, and they just haven't announced it yet. We'll find out when they actually release footage and do a trailer for it. But I'm looking forward to that one. I got to rewatch Flashpoint. I watched that a couple years back, and thank you, Haya. Sponsor us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'll talk about you all the time. If you want me to spot, so absolutely. Well, Go USA is super awesome to me. And the guy I work with he's so I get all the contests, and he gives me the Blu-rays and stuff like that. And my latest contest, the 4-pack, the Action 4-pack, I have not done the drawing yet, and again, I apologize. It's going to happen this week, and I will. I just was delayed because some of the product was a little late coming to me, so I was making sure that I had, what I needed, and then so it's coming. So you will be notified.
See me, I'll blame it on your surgery. It's like you're recovering from surgery, man. Come on, it's understandable if you're a little behind on things.
There's that. Yeah, I start physical therapy tomorrow. I'm so jacked for it. Not.
Oh, I'm expecting to see a text going, hurts so bad.
That's here's the thing. I think tomorrow's not going to be bad because like my doctor, I meet with my doctor, my surgeon, and then I meet with his head nurse, and they both tell me like they're just gonna like do like simple things to start off. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I'm not expecting like them to be like, hey, and grab my arm and lift it up over my head or anything. But I'll blame it on that too, because I'm in constant pain. Let me tell you. I mean, since I've had this surgery, before I had it, when I re-injured it, and then when I had the surgery, it's just the only good thing is I don't have to wear my shoulder brace when I'm like, if I'm just sitting here, like I'm if I'm out walking around or moving or doing stuff, I have to put it on, but I don't have to while I'm sitting down. But yeah, we'll blame it on that. Thanks, Shane. Thanks for thanks for helping a brother out on that one. But I am going to announce the winners. I mean, y'all should know me by now. Everything's late on my end because I'm a one-man show, and I have a life and daughters, and and stuff like that, and soldiers surgery. So, all right. Donnie Yen. We were talking about Donnie Yen. Okay.
Yep, Donnie Yen.
Yeah. Yep. So that happened. So yeah, so that's a big thing. Other than that, not really like, which is good. I'm
It's
kind of happy. There was this Dutch movie that Well Go USA picked up. It's called Invasion, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, there's the Dutch trailer for it, which is not in English, but you really don't need to see it in English.
Kijk!
But I'll just play a little bit of it for you here. It looks like they had a budget for this movie, which is pretty
yeah.
good. Here, let me blow it up for you so that way you can really see it. And again, this isn't the Well Go USA trailer. They just announced that they acquired the movie. And I guess terrorists take over these islands, and like this Dutch special forces team is called in to save the day. And yeah, there's a lot of that. And there's submarines, and there's a lot of running and gunning. And I love when shells fall to the ground in slow motion. There's
Oh yeah.
nothing. You got firepower.
Well,
Look at this. I mean, it looks like a pretty solid military themed action movie. So,
well, I'm glad that they, like you said, the shells are falling to the ground because, the U.S. has got that stigma from a couple years ago, sadly, from the Rust movie set. And that stuff's still ongoing. Like, they just convicted the armorer for 18 months in prison.
They did, yeah.
So there was that, and I know I was reading that they were thinking about possibly pursuing charges against Alec Baldwin.
Well, he is. He's going to trial for manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to trial for manslaughter.
But being an action fan, you can see certain movies where they like CGI the shell casings or the muzzle flash, and it just slightly takes it out of me when I see a movie like that.
It does.
So I have to, like, massive culprits of it was the last 4 Bruce Willis films that I watched, and 3 of them were the Detective Knight movies, and the other one was Deadlocked with Patrick Muldoon. I enjoyed that one, but seeing like CGI muzzle flash and shell casings and blood, it takes it out of you when you watch it, because being action fans, we're so used to the realism, and CGI stuff kind of takes it out of you. I know, kind of like how people were complaining about the CGI fight scenes in the new Roadhouse. But I'm like, just go back to old school with that type of stuff, in my opinion. I know we just need more safety protocols when it comes to stuff like that, but keep it up with the old school.
Well, that's the thing. Like I talked to directors like Jesse V. Johnson, William Kaufman, who are big time independent action directors, and they're like, we're not changing what we're doing. Like, we're going to do it the way we always did. We're going to use practical effects, and we know what we're doing. That's pretty much it. That they're like, we follow all the protocols. Nobody, misses the boat, and if they do, but he's like, they've never had problems. And like, if it's done the way it's supposed to, like this lady on the Rust movie, she sounds like a whack job. I'm sorry, no offense, but offense, taken if you want. But yeah, she sounds like she was just full of herself, and
she'd been fired.
Wasn't she like intoxicated too? Like they were saying that she was intoxicated, and I'm not sure. Like I read a bunch of stuff, but yeah, she just sounds like she was like a D-level armorer for a movie.
She been fired several times due to safety concerns. Not that great. And to be quite honest, it's like I've admitted on other things, I'm a gun guy. I own firearms, and I know the safety stuff. In my honest opinion, there shouldn't have been a live round that could fire a projectile round out of the shell casing within 10 miles of that set. But no, what she did was, let's give you the realism. Let's use these guns that we're using as props. Let's go a few miles away, and here's live rounds to fire in it. That, first of all, that's an unprofessional thing right there to do. And you got there. It's like I had seen part of a police interrogation questioning of Jensen Ackles, because he was on the set. He was one of the main actors of that film. He stated that whenever he works on a thing, armorers and the crew hate it when he does this, but he's like, I've been doing this for 30 plus years. He points it at the ground and starts pulling the trigger, and if it goes off, he's like, live gun, live gun. So I'm like, you know what? It's got to be kind of scary for that type of thing, but that's it. In that case, is we need something like that, but not to that extent. I can understand the safety concerns, but yeah, in my honest opinion, there should not have been a live round. If you were to do it properly, go, oh, this is how you're going to handle it. This is how the recoil. Go to a gun range. Talk with a gun range. Go to a gun range. Have more than one set of eyes checking these guns. It's tragic what happened, but the armorer, she got what she deserved. She should have gotten more than just a year and a half, in my
Probably.
opinion.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, especially when they said she wasn't showing any sort of emotional remorse or any emotion whatsoever during the trial or her being convicted. So, it's scary that these people have that profession and their jobs are to keep people safe.
And she felt
Like with my girlfriend, I was a smart ass and sent her a video of a guy on YouTube going, "This is the basic gun safety rules." Yeah, granted, he was being an idiot, and he even makes fun of it in the video. He's like, "Yeah, don't point your gun at something you don't want to destroy," and he's got it tucked down in the front of him, and he's like, he looks down and goes, "Ugh."
yeah.
Or so that type of thing. Or another video I saw Californians going to Texas, going to a gun range for the first time, and the Texans are like, "Well, we're gonna tell you, basically assume that the gun is loaded at all times, or what we call the Alec Baldwin rule." So yeah,
All right. Well, let's get back more on a happy topic here.
oh, yeah.
So here's another thing. Like, this was also the week of CinemaCon that I posted that following Sunday. So Glenn Powell's doing a remake. He's doing The Running Man, which we all know Schwarzenegger did in the 80s. But this one's going to be more prone to the actual novel, unlike Schwarzenegger's, which was like a WWE event as a movie. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, am I excited about it? Not really. I mean,
If
no.
they called it something else, I'd be excited for it because I like Glenn Powell. He's just a few years younger than I am, but the guy's got a history of action movies. Expendables 3, Top Gun Maverick. Hell, he's got Twisters coming out.
I love the
And
fact that he's the guy in Expendables 3 that everybody forgot about because he was in the elevator shaft for the whole ending, trying to get up to get a
climbing
signal.
up the thing. Yeah.
He didn't get any action in the last in that big finale.
He was the hacker.
He
Was the hacker of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's a good actor. I like him. I'm glad he's like blowing up now, especially because of Top Gun Maverick. But honestly, in my opinion, this could hurt his career. If it goes bad, it's gonna hurt his career. He's got this new movie on Netflix coming out soon called Hitman, which he helped write the film. I'm looking forward to that, but uh, I I would like to see him do something, but change the name. It's kind of, in my opinion, what happened with the last Total Recall film is if they would have changed the name to something else, I think that would have done better theatrically. So if they changed it to something different instead of The Running Man, because everybody's gonna have, oh, that's an Arnold film. Fuck whoever does the remake because
Well, you can't. Well, that's false though, because like it was a story before they did the movie with Schwarzenegger.
yeah,
So people have to realize that. Like that, in defense of Glenn Powell, like this
yeah,
movie was made after the fact, and they totally butchered the story that Stephen King wrote about it. Edgar Wright,
true,
who
yeah,
did Shaun of the Dead, is directing it. So I'm not, again, as a director, I'm not really like, okay, okay. So it's like, that's nice. But again, that
hmm
doesn't like really fill me like with excitement as well.
not
But
really.
we'll see. I mean, like I said, it is what it is, and when it gets made and I see footage, then then we will determine if it's something we want to watch.
I kind of get the feeling, personally, in my opinion, is we're gonna get the same type of reaction we got with Bill Skarsgård in The Crow. We're gonna have people just shitting on it because it's not the Arnold Running Man. Like I said, it's like if they just change the name, I think we'd have a better reception of it, in my opinion. But
True.
I do reserve final judgment until I see footage. So
The only thing I hated about the Crow was his haircut and his stupid
yeah.
choice of clothing. Other than that, I was like, I thought the trailer was solid. So I'm like, sorry, people. It's like you can come at me and bitch at me, but it's like I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, we all know Brandon Lee did the Crow, but just because he died making it doesn't mean that they can't do any more Crow. Like the director of the original Crow said, "Oh, they shouldn't do anything because of Brandon Lee." I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah, it was unfortunate what happened, and it kind of it left a legacy for that movie. But it's like they made sequels afterwards, and they made a TV show, so it's like, why not? It's like, yeah, it was unfortunate what happened to Lee. But you don't not like, okay, it's like, let's not make anymore, just because, so, but whatever. But it looks pretty solid. But then people were bitching about how it looks like John Wick. And, yeah, I know. Okay. So there's that one little part of the trailer where he does like some cool moves with guns and stuff like that. They're like, John Wick. Whatever. I'm like, shut up.
I kind of
pulling a sword out of his chest and then using it on people. Come on.
Yeah, I dare those people who keep saying, "Oh, John Wick, go watch the original trailer," especially the most famous gunfight scene in that. And if they go John Wick with that, I'm gonna laugh at them because gunfights have been in movies for decades. And John Wick's like the cool tagline for things like that because everybody's like, "Oh, we got to copy John Wick."
Yeah. Well, the thing with John Wick was, it did the gun fu, it was like, it was like hybrid of like guns and hand-to-hand combat. And that was its big thing, with Chad and David and what they did with that movie.
Well,
so anytime people do something like that, they think like they're ripping off John Wick. And to a point, I mean, you can make the argument, yes, like we were inspired by, and again, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, I always say. So
you can also state that, oh, The Matrix had gun flu. Here's another little known film people don't realize with Christian Bale in it, Equilibrium, which actually has gun kata in it.
Yes.
And,
or Ultraviolet with Mila Jovovich, like, but made by
same writer.
Yes.
Same writer.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's like, that's when people just don't know what they're talking about, and they just want to, they're just negative just because, and they just want to complain. That's when it gets exhausting doing this. It's like when I get excited and I put something on and I just get negative feedback from it.
Oh yeah.
Like when I did I watched Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, on Friday when it came out, because I was gonna go see Gentlemanly Warfare on Thursday, but then I fell asleep and I missed my showing, which I do the Regal thing, so it didn't cost me any money. So I'm like, I'll just go see it again. But then I was like, Friday, I'm like, oh, Scargiver came out. I'm like, that's at home. I'll watch that. And then as soon as I watched it, and I was like, because I knew what people were going to say about it, and I was just like, should I do a review or should I not do a review? And of course I did one.
I bet people were saying, oh, it's just a Star Wars film. You know what, people? Yes, it is a Star Wars film. It was Zack Snyder's idea for a Star Wars film until Disney and Lucasfilm said, no, we're not interested. So he changed it into something else.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like one reviewer, like, again, I don't read people's reviews, but sometimes I run into like certain comments and stuff like that. Like one guy was saying how it rips off Star Wars. I'm like, Star Wars ripped off things too. Like, people don't understand. It's like Star Wars borrowed from Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon, or I'm not Buck Rogers. Well, yeah, because I mean, the TV show hadn't come out yet, but Flash Gordon,
Japanese movie called the Hidden Fortress, I believe it was.
Yes.
That was another idea.
Yeah. So, and then again, then they make the argument, well, Star Wars did a better job of ripping off those. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, it's an invalid argument. And I'm like, and then again, listen, here's the thing with Zack Snyder. You know what you're going to get when you watch a Zack Snyder movie. So if you hate Zack Snyder, but you're going to watch the movie. And that's what makes me laugh. Like, people that hate Zack Snyder, hate him. Like, don't even know him,
Yeah.
but hate him as a filmmaker. But they're like, I'm still watching the movie. I'm like, why are you watching the movie if you're such a Zack Snyder hater? It's like, don't even watch the movie then, because Zack Snyder is basically like, listen, F you, I'm not going to change the way I do movies. It's like, you're going to see slow motion and you're going to see, and it's, I like the slow motion. Does he use it too much? Yeah, probably. I mean, after a while, it's just like, okay, can we speed it up and just get normal motion going? But I mean, he says that he does it to enhance the heroics of what's happening, when, yeah. And then people are saying that it's incomplete. And I even said that in my review. I said it's an incomplete viewing experience because he should have just released the director's cuts right away. It's not like they were going to the movie theater, like where like, oh, let's do the PG-13 and release it theatrically so that way more people can see it. It's like it was releasing on Netflix. People were still going to watch it. They should have just released the director's cuts right away. And then people are saying, well, he should be able to make a good movie right away. I'm like, well, he did make a good movie. I like Rebel Moon. I'm sorry. Do I like it more than Star Wars? I like it more than the last few Star Wars movies. I'll tell you that. The Last Jedi, I like it more than The Last Jedi. I'll tell you that. So it's like, so there you go on that. That's all I got to say. Do you have anything to add before we move on?
No, I was actually thinking of watching Rebel Moon after we get off of this tonight. So it's like,
prepare yourself. There's going to be slow motion and visuals, and
I'm not going to deny. I am
and then somebody said it was too loud. It was too loud. It was too loud. I'm like, well, then turn your sound down. I'm like, I don't know what to say about that.
I was gonna say, look at Michael Bay's films. People were bitching about that back in the day, that his films are too loud. I'm like, turn the volume down.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I said he's hated more than Michael Bay now. Like people used to rip on Michael Bay films because it was, he would do his movies, like he would do the bombastic, epic set pieces and stuff like that. And now they're like, now they turn their attention to Zack Snyder. So Bay's probably like, oh, good. Now this guy took over. Now people aren't like bitching at me anymore because they're bitching at this.
I was gonna say, look at all. I think when his first big film came out, people were like, "Oh, it's a remake of a beloved zombie film," and then he just started doing his own stuff. And I think part of the hate comes from because everybody knows he did the Justice League first, but Joss Whedon came in, and I think he gets a good portion of the hate because of how bad the theatrical cut of Justice League was.
Which wasn't him. They totally butchered what he was doing. And we all saw that because then he released his version. Yeah. And I consider it one of my top 3 all-time favorite comic book films. Sorry. And then people come at me about that. They're like, Superman doesn't kill. Batman doesn't kill. It's called changing times. It's like, if these characters are going to exist for years and decades, it's like, you can't be doing the same thing over and over again. Superman killing Zod, I didn't have a problem with. I was kind of like, fuck yeah. I'm like, he snapped his neck. That was cool. Batman killing all those guys in the warehouse in Batman versus Superman. That's one of the best Batman fights ever put on film.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, and I'll fight people tooth and nail. I'm like, I don't care, that they change things. Now, what I did have a problem with is when in Man of Steel, when Kevin Costner, as Jonathan Kent was like, no, don't save me, don't show that I had a problem with. I'm like, really? You're telling your son not to save you because he'll show his powers? I'm like, that's what he's supposed to do. Like, that was the one thing I had. That was a dumb scene. I was like, wow, they really dropped the ball on that one. But other than that, it didn't kill my my feelings.
Yeah, no, it didn't kill my experience with it.
And then everybody was like, and then there's so much destruction and they're fighting and the whole city gets wrecked. Have you ever watched the Godzilla movie? I'm like, they step on everything in that. But everybody has a problem. Everybody's fine with that because it's big monsters stepping on shit. So it's like, but
like Independence Day, you have alien ships blowing up cities. So
we're just basically defending. I'll defend Zack Snyder. I enjoy him. I like his films. I think he's got a great imagination. I mean, does he steal from other people? Yes. So does everybody else. That's like, so who cares? And again, come at me with your comments. I don't care. I'm like, I'll fight. Yep. I'll defend myself all night and day and be like, your argument is invalid. So now the other big news, which again, I haven't seen the first season, but They're doing a second season of Monarch Legacy of Monsters.
I will say I was excited when I heard this because I watched season 1. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm glad they brought in original kaiju with it. The story is great in my opinion. Some of the stuff you're like, oh god, why are they
Well,
harping
let me
on this?
ask you.
But
I have not seen it, and it's just because I just not have had the opportunity or the time to get invested with it. They were saying like they spent too much time with like the chick, and like I mean I don't know the characters in it, and they said there was way too much with
okay,
that happening.
it was I hate to say it this way, but it was the whining
The
because
whining, there was
the girl
whining.
in the center, it's spoilers for this show. The Asian guy
I don't. Yeah,
next to
you could
her
spoil it for me. I'm still gonna watch it. I don't care.
I was gonna say the Asian guy next to her is her half brother she didn't know existed.
I knew
The
that. I knew that. Yeah, I knew
the Asian woman in like the older dress is actually her grandmother.
that. Okay.
Because they are the grandchildren of John Goodman's character from Skull Island.
Ah, okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Yep.
because the guy with the rope on there is actually the young version of John Goodman from the Skull Island.
Okay.
It's like they do flashbacks where it's like the beginning of Monarch as an agency, getting funding from the U.S. government, getting funding from the military, surprisingly enough, more than anything else. And Wyatt Russell plays the young version of Kurt Russell's
Russell.
character.
Yeah, which is cool.
Uh,
That was cool.
yeah, and people are like, "Oh, Godzilla's not going to be in it." He's in the first 5 goddamn minutes of this movie, people, because they start off when he's breaking the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and the main character, basically how she's looking up at it, is basically how she was looking at Godzilla. He pops up in a few episodes of the show, and it's awesome. I enjoy the original kaiju that they put in the movie. Uh, they're making references uh, to like Kong and other stuff, and they make reference to Apex Cybernetics from Godzilla versus Kong.
Mm-hmm.
So they're drawing in the elements and just stacking on top of it to expand it, in my opinion, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And seeing some of the original kaiju, that was pretty cool. Like one of them that's just attracted to heat, so it cools it down by freezing it completely. So any sort of heat source that it sees, it tries to cool it down. They do throw in a new little element that makes you go, okay, why? There's basically it's Earth limbo kind of thing, like a transition station, and then the Hollow Earth. And the transition station, 1 hour our time could be 1 year
Oh, okay.
there. Or
Well,
it's like, well, 1 hour in the limbo, it's 1 year in our time. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's kind of something like that.
and then Godzilla shows up at the end, like in every movie he's ever
Yeah.
been in. That's right.
Yeah.
So because then I heard people bitching he's not in it enough. I'm like, do I have to tell you the running times that he's been in his own movies?
I will
So,
tell
like,
you, I will say this, people, Godzilla is in this show more than he was in 2014 Godzilla.
Hey, there you go. Look at that. See,
So there.
Looks
Yeah.
I think people just look for things to bitch about. I really do.
Oh, yeah, they
don't know
do.
what else to
They
say
do. But
anymore. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just exhausting.
I was just excited to hear that they were doing a second season of the show. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I watched it with my kids, and one of them was like, "Daddy, that's scary." I was like, "It's not real. Calm down. Everything's fine." By the way, look at this. That's Godzilla right there, and she got excited seeing Godzilla.
My daughter loved it. Like, why? Like, my ex was kind of like, "Why are you having her watch?" I'm like, "It's monsters fighting monsters," and she's cool with it. She
Mm-hmm.
loves it. She knows it's fake. And we watched Godzilla versus Kong the night before, and she was all over it. And then and when we went to see Godzilla X Kong on opening day, and she was more excited than I was, which I was a happy papa. I was a proud papa.
Oh yeah.
She's asking me questions, and she's like, because she's still 8, and she's still learning this stuff, and and I'm telling her, what's going on and this and that. And when the movie was over, I'm like, what'd you think? She's like, it was awesome. And I'm like, well, there you go.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's not like I'm like having her watch like, like some like, well, because then like people were saying, like the Meg. I'm like, I'm not having her watch the Meg, like where the shark eats people. I'm like, it's monsters fighting monsters. It's like she loves it, but it's like people always they just want to complain, and then they're like, oh, Godzilla's hardly in it. I'm like, no shit, that's like every Godzilla movie, and then I did it. Remember that one show we were doing, and I said the guy actually put down a list of every single Godzilla movie and the running times that the guy actually shows up for, and one was like 5 minutes and something. Like, it was a Godzilla movie. He was in it for like 5 minutes and some odd seconds. I'm like, go watch that movie if you think 2014 sucks. It's like, good Lord. So there's my thoughts. I haven't seen the show yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Like when I finally get around to
I
it.
enjoyed it. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, some of the stuff you're like, oh God, it starts off as a slow burn because they're trying to tell a story. And there are some times where you got to go, I want to see the flashback stuff more than I want to see anything else. But like I know that was a big spoiler on YouTube and other stuff that they showed that Monarch was actually there when in the very beginning of 2014 where they showed the nuke go off to take out Godzilla. They were there. So they witnessed it, and they were they were upset that, oh God, Godzilla's dead, because they thought they killed him.
Well, there you go.
So,
it's like, well, we're getting a second season, so like, maybe I'll wait, and
I'm happy.
the second season's coming out, and then I'll binge it or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But like I was saying, this is a good movie week. First there was Civil War, which I didn't get to see till last Monday, the Monday after it came out, because I had my daughter that week before. And I loved it. I mean, it's scary, and it makes me fear for my daughter's future, as an American citizen. But I liked it. The finale was great, and people were bitching about how it's not a Civil War movie. I'm like, yes, it is. It's just told through the journalist's eyes, and a certain journalist played by Kirsten Dunst, who's jaded because she's been doing this for decades, and she's been in other war zones, but this is America that she's, and it's dark. It's like there's like a couple seconds of levity here and there, in terms of like, where you laugh, but it's just super dark. But go see it in IMAX if you ever go see it in the movie theater, because it'll blow your socks off, especially the finale. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 on my website. And then this movie I saw yesterday, and there's my title. Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is a delicious, savage cocktail of winking wit, humor, and bombastic set pieces. There you go. I don't need to read the review to you, because it's just fucking awesome. It's a great movie. Henry Cavill rocks. Freaking Alan Rickman, he's awesome in it. He plays the Danish Hammer. He's super solid. Henry Golding, and everybody. It's got Guy Ritchie wit. It's got his dialogue. You have to pay attention, because like, how they're talking. It's kind of like a Shakespeare movie, because like Guy Ritchie, and there's writers, they put in like, it's smart, dialogue, so you have to really pay attention, and it's not just, a World War II movie, but there's so much more going on. And I love how it's based on the actual mission where the special forces were created, but not a shot was fired in real life. Well, spoiler alert, there's a lot of shots fired in this movie. There's so many. There's shots, there's explosions, there's hand-to-hand combat, there's Reacher with a bow and arrow, and he like shoots people with arrows, pulls the arrow out and starts stabbing another guy with the same arrow, and it's just it is a good time. And Henry Cavill's a star. He got screwed out of playing Superman, but I'm happy for him, because he's got Highlander coming, and he's basically like, F you, Warner Brothers. I'm like, I'm not, what, you screwed the pooch, it's like I'm moving on. And 4 out of 5 for me with that one too. So I enjoyed that immensely. So go see it if you get the opportunity.
I am a Guy Ritchie fan. I've seen all of his movies except for the Swept Away remake, the one he did with Madonna when they were still married. But I even seen the the BMW short film that he did, making fun of Madonna being in it and Clive Owen, and I love his stuff. He absolutely hilarious. And shit, I just watched Operation Fortune earlier today, and
Mhm.
seeing Alan Richson and Henry Cavill and Henry Golding. Uh, I'm excited. I didn't realize that Alex Pettyfer was in this.
Yes,
Uh,
I am
I
number
think
4.
I
Ex Alex
Yeah, I
Pettyfor.
think that actor he got the raw deal of stuff because when he was younger, he was basically listed as a diva in a way and difficult to work with. And that's why we haven't
Yes, I
seen him
remember
do a
that.
whole lot.
Yeah.
So
He's also in a movie called Black Noise, where he plays the leader of a special ops team
I
that goes
saw the
silent.
trailer for that. I saw the trailer for that, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not interested. I'm not into it. I was just like, just watching the trailer. I'm like, that's not for me.
Okay.
So
I haven't seen it either. I mean, I just remember it.
it
I did.
honestly
I did
just
the trailer for it, and I did an article for the trailer when it came out, but I did not get the opportunity to see it. But it looked interesting to me, so I was like,
yeah,
but
I
it didn't
think
look like
I
an
honestly
action movie. It
watched.
looked like a more of a psychological thriller, with
Yeah,
guns. So, yeah.
yeah, I think I watched the trailer on your site, so that's how I saw it, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look interesting to me. There, I'm an action fan, but there's certain action films that don't even interest me. So,
That's fine. But yeah, not every action not
mhm.
you don't have to like every action movie that comes out. Like it's like I get it. I mean, like I said, it doesn't even look like a true genuine action movie. It looks more of
No,
a
no, it looked like,
psychological thriller with guys with
hmm
guns, and stuff like that. I mean, I'll check it out just to see if I'm right. Mm. But I mean, but you never know until you watch the movie. I did go
yeah,
see Abigail today. Abigail is a horror movie. I generally don't do horror on my website unless it's action horror, like a Resident Evil or Underworld or something like
hmm
that. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was telling you before we went on the air, there's a lot of twists and turns, and it's made by the Radio Silence team who did Ready or Not with Samara Weaving, who was Scarlet in Snake
okay,
Eyes. Where she gets married, and then her husband's family hunts people for sport, and then she
yeah,
becomes the
that's one
target.
of those ones that I own that on. I like bought it for real cheap at a because it was a gas station that had a red box or they were renting out movies, uh, and they were selling it, and I picked it up and I haven't watched it, but I like
I haven't seen
Samara
it either.
Weaving.
I'm gonna watch it
So
now because I saw Abigail, and like it's fun. It's fun. I mean, and I was telling you before, and like I haven't done I'm debating whether to do a review for it. I might, just to talk about it, but it's not scary. Like it takes a lot to scare me. Like The Exorcist scared me. The first Halloween scared me. But like this, it's just there's a lot of humor in it, and there's just buttloads of buckets of blood and like I said,
uh,
and there's no spoilers, but I was telling you she's not the only threat in the movie. There's so much more to
mhm.
it, that
Well,
happens. And
it's
go on.
if you want something in that genre, a recommendation I'll give you is it actually stars an actress from Abigail, Catherine Newton. Check out Freaky with her and Vince Vaughn. It was a
Yeah,
weird twist on Freaky Friday. So
yes, where he's a serial killer, and then they switch bodies, and then so she
yeah,
becomes, yeah,
yeah, it's quite funny because she goes like it just shows how crazy she can be, and seeing Vince Vaughn basically play a teenage girl was hilarious in my opinion. I enjoyed the hell out of that one. I've been thinking about watching that again. I own it on DVD and I'm like I enjoyed it. I don't I like the movies where they don't take themselves too seriously.
this
I
one
think
does.
that's part
I
of
mean, there's some jump scares, and it's violent. Like people explode, and when they explode, it's all over the place. Like then the people that are still there are just covered like in just like body parts and it's a good time. Like I said, I had a good time with it. Kevin Durant, he plays like the simpleton tough guy. He's like the enforcer, but like he'll do things or say stuff. And then Dan Stevens is in it. We all know that Dan
Oh yeah.
Stevens from Godzilla X Kong and the guest. he plays a great role. You're never too sure about him. It goes back and forth and everything. There is the final girl in it. You know, I knew who the final girl. I'm like, yeah, she's gonna, make it to, I'm not gonna say who makes it or anything, but she's definitely like the main protagonist of the movie. And the little girl that plays Abigail, did a fucking phenomenal job. And she's like she's going after people, and she's like doing ballerina moves as she's doing it, and it just looks macabre and morbid and disturbing. That's so many.
Yeah, like I told you, and I even told my girlfriend earlier, I've been debating about doing the AMC version of what Regal does, because
It's worth
I
it,
got
especially like me being on disability, and like I got to watch my bills and stuff like that. 21.95 a month before tax, so it's like 22 something. And I've seen I've seen 5 movies this week, which if I didn't have it, it would have been like over $100.
Yeah.
And you get 10% off concessions, plus you earn points where you can get free stuff. Like I didn't have to pay for anything today. I went in, I got my ticket, didn't pay anything, and then I had a free popcorn and free soda. Didn't have to pay anything.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I'm gonna go see Abigail. I mean, I generally probably wouldn't have seen Abigail until it came out on streaming. But I was like, I might as well go see Abigail, and I'm glad I did, because I would, like, before writing a review, I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. I enjoyed that a lot.
Nice.
They did a good job. It's because there's been a lot of vampire movies, like there's been a lot of zombie movies, and when they do stuff like a little bit more original with like, there's a scene where they're like talking about like what'll kill a vampire, and then that actress you were talking about, she's like, well, we talking about Twilight, Interview with the Vampire, like what vampire are we talking about? They're just like, I don't fucking care, it's just a vampire.
I will throw this out. A podcast I listen to, it comes out with new episodes every Sunday. I actually listened to this one. They just finished season 20, because they'll do like chunks, a few months dedicated to a certain topic or a certain season, and in between they do what they call Sleepless Decomposition. So there's the No Sleep podcast, and quite literally all three tales that they show are discussed in it today were nothing but vampire tales, and it was fun listening to it. They're like, Norwegian standoff about a guy trapped in his cabin with a vampire outside after he wounded it. They had basically a female vampire who thought she was going to be living in the fountain of youth, but she got turned when she was 55, so she's like, this type of thing, complaining about that. And then the last one was called Dog Teeth, where they don't call themselves vampires, but people refer to them as that. But they're like, we're dog teeth because of this, and it was a great story. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm gonna highly recommend it. If people don't listen to it, just go and listen to today's episode of it, see how it goes. Great cast. They do great jobs with their stories. It's some of them are pretty twisted, and when it has to deal with cannibalism.
Oh, super.
But I enjoyed it. And it was like all vampire stuff today. And, you told me last night you were going to go see Abigail. And I'm like, maybe the one thing I'll do to treat myself is get a AMC thing. I've been debating it on and off. Like, yeah, I want to no, let me get my bills paid first.
Well, yeah, take care of business, and then, but like, if it's like, listen, that and the trampoline park that I take my daughter to, like the trampoline park, normally it's like $40 a pop, like if you take your daughter for 2 hours at this trampoline park, but $19.95 a month, and she can go as many times as she wants to the whole month. So I did that, and I did this because I'm like, listen, I need to do something. Even because the Regal thing, it's for me, but she still is discounted. So if I have to buy her a ticket, it's still cheaper for her to go because I have this membership. So I'm like,
nice.
This is perfect. And in the trampoline park, I'm like, now we can do, and she loves the trampoline park. We go almost every day. I pick her up from school. But yeah, so I'm like, you can't beat it for the price that you pay, and especially like if you don't have a lot to spend on things and stuff like that. And like I said, I've seen like 4 movies this week, and like it says, it pays for itself in 2 visits, So if you go at least twice a month, which I'll go see movies twice. Like I'll go see Ungentlemanly Warfare again on the big screen. I'm like, why the hell not? You know, and it's just. But going back to Abigail, it's just it's funny. It's just a funny take on vampires because like they're going over like, okay, what do we know? Okay, garlic, you know, might do something. A crucifix, you know, it's just funny because like none of it works. Like the girl gets the garlic, and Abigail grabs it, and she's like sniffing it, and the girl's like, oh shit. And then Kevin Durant has the crucifix, and she grabs it up from him and starts stabbing him with it. He's like, I'm getting stabbed.
I do like Kevin Durant. He's a great actor in my opinion. You know, hearing he was playing a dimwit, I'm like, oh, he did that in Wild Hogs, where he was a dim-witted biker in that one. And
yeah, he's great in it. I
y-
mean, everybody's super awesome, and it's just funny to see that, like when they figure out what's going on, and then she attacks him for the first time. They're just freaking out. They're like, they don't know what to do. They're just like, what the hell is going on right now? It's just like, and there's so much to the story like that they don't tell you, which was good, you know, in the trailer.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that, yeah. So it's a good time. So if you have the opportunity to go see Abigail on the big screen, I would definitely check it out because you'll get your money's worth. I mean, at least I think so. I mean, if you don't feel like it afterwards, I'm sorry, but I don't gravitate towards horror movies a lot. You know, I mean, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that it takes a lot for me to go see in a horror movie. And when I saw the trailer for this one, I'm like, this looks like a good time. I'm gonna go see this.
If you want a good action horror movie, my friend, it's on Netflix. It's called Damn Fear.
I've seen it.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
Yep.
I'll watch a horror film just to watch a horror film, but if there's like a little action in it, I made the mistake of watching a movie called Death Valley after I literally watched Welcome to Raccoon City, the Resident Evil
Oh, that
reboot,
was so disappointing.
and
I was so disappointed in Welcome to
yeah,
Raccoon. So many
yeah.
levels. The ending, the finale was lackluster. I'm like, oh, I was like, that was it. Ouch.
Well, they had a character in the movie Death Valley, an actor and character that looked more like the video game representation of Leon S. Kennedy than Leon did in Welcome to Raccoon City. So, they had an interesting concept. I just didn't feel like the execution of that film was good. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I do like horror movies. Slasher films, I love them. If you give me Jason Voorhees in a movie, I'm gonna sit down and watch it. I've actually met a Jason Voorhees actor, uh, the one from Jason Lives. Nice guy, very nice guy, and I was happy to meet him. I
I
actually
met
have
Kane
a
Hodder.
Jason figure
I
on my
met
wall.
Kane Hodder at a Comic Con.
Yeah,
He was super cool.
he's one I would love to meet. There is actually she was in the show SEAL Team. She was in the show Supernatural. She's in The
Mhm.
Mandalorian. Emily
Yes.
Swallow.
Yep.
I'm
I saw her
she's
at
coming.
Boston Comic Con. I saw her live. She was awesome too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to meet her when she comes here to Spokane in June.
I mean, I didn't
Uh,
meet her, like, but I was at her panel, and it was funny because
mhm.
like that whole day, like it was during the actor strike, so they couldn't talk about any of their stuff. So they're kind of like going around, and like they're talking about it in a way that like they're not going to get in trouble about it. And then of course Zachary
Yeah.
Levi was there, and I saw his panel, and he was just like, look, we all know why we're here. It's like, and it's like, it's like, I can't say Shazam. It's like, but it's like, because everybody like they're afraid that you're gonna, after I say Shazam, you're gonna go out and buy the movie, which you've already bought the movie. So it's
Mhm.
ridiculous that I can't say Shazam because you've already seen it, you bought it, you bought the toys. It's like, so why can I not talk about it? But yeah, just it was a fun day because nobody could talk about anything, and I saw Stephen
Yeah,
Amell from Arrow, and he it was just funny because they were just making jokes. I mean, it's serious, because it's their livelihood, but they were just making light of it because they have to, or else they'll go insane. But
yeah, yeah.
it was a good, and Emily Swallows, and she was awesome, and it was a good time. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's like I especially seeing her in the video where she dressed up as the armorer and walked around the Comic-Con. I thought that was pretty cool. I felt like her character got the short staffed in SEAL Team. I'm not gonna lie, I was mad at David Boreanaz's character in that show when uh what happened with that. I was like, you son of a bitch, you mother.
Well, we
But
all know who he was supposed to end up with, and of course he
yeah,
did. So it's like, yeah, that was I knew that was going to happen a mile away. Come on.
but I was gonna say we to get back on subject. Yeah, like you said, it was kind of a slow week on action, so we got fan mail or fan questions, as you were saying.
We do. Yes, we do. Pretty much from one individual, Tan Eugene, or if I don't know if like he put his last name last and his, if it's Tan Eugene or Eugene Tan. So let me know if I'm saying it wrong. My apologies if I am saying it wrong. But yeah, like I had mentioned, like if you guys have ever have any questions or anything, shoot me a line. And this guy shot me like more than one line. He shot me like 10. So let me find them here. Okay, so here was his first email, and I'm going to read his first question. And again, this is just Shane and I speculating. We can come up with our theories and everything, but we're not privy to being in the meetings when they cover all this crap. So we'll find out. All right. So he says, first one, with the John Wick movies, the Mission Impossible movies, and the Equalizer movies making action genre very popular again, does this show that we are going to see more well-made action movies from Hollywood going forward, especially when it comes to finally moving away from the shaky cam and the quick cut editing controversy? I'll say this, they've already moved away from it because I've been seeing a lot of better action sequences in big budget movies, where I feel I haven't been complaining as much as I have in the past. So I mean, yeah, I think they finally learned their lesson, and I think they're starting to listen to the stunt people. And of course, we have stunt people now turning into filmmakers and directors who are like, here's how you do it. So this is what you do.
Yeah.
So I feel it's changing for the better. Are we getting more well-made movies? I mean, we always get good movies. I mean, I don't want to like. I think people take it the wrong way when I say like independent cinema kicks Hollywood in the ass. It does to a point, but there are big budget action movies that I enjoy too. I have them. I have John Wick. I have all the comic book movies, and I enjoy those just as much as anything else. If it's well done and if I'm invested in it, of course I like it, and yeah, I mean, they Hollywood can make great action movies. They just need to know that they're doing it and not f it up. So.
Yeah, exactly. My opinion, yeah, we're basically in like a new renaissance of action movies. We got the shaky cam stuff, I believe, in my personal opinion, is showing how a director is inexperienced filming action, how certain actors are inexperienced shooting action, and that's the
Well,
reason why,
that's
oh, the shaky cam, we got that. And I knew for a little bit that was like the hot newness after The Bourne Identity came out, but that's a great film. And I personally believe, like you said, we got stuntmen directing films. People want these guys directing films. They want to know about uh, how to do this properly. Um, hell, I can not even an action movie alone. Uh, uh, Look at your claw. The wrestling consultant that they had was Chavo Guerrero Jr., who he helped them film the wrestling scenes in the movie. Hell, when the wrestling show Lucha Underground was on, he was part of it and he helped them. Like, none of them had an idea how to shoot wrestling. So he went up and goes, "Hey, shoot it this way." So it's like if people are willing to listen to the people with the experience, good. But if you're gonna go, "Fuck you, I know what I'm doing," then you can tell that movie's gonna be showing us in that case because you're not willing to put out the effort. And you know, my biggest complaint with action movies nowadays is, everybody keeps comparing it to John Wick, which, for a while we had other movies that people were comparing to. My biggest thing is stop comparing other movies to other movies. So let it be its own thing.
And then going back to the shaky cam thing, like, and it's understandable, like when there's an actor doing the action who isn't experienced, like a Scott Adkins, or a Bren Foster, and they have to use stunt doubles and they have to hide certain things. That's when stuff like that happens, and it's unfortunate. But I like the trend we're seeing that actors, Bill Skarsgård is one that comes to mind right away,
Mm-hmm.
who's putting the work in. And, Boy Kills World comes out next week. It looks phenomenal. And of course, The Crow. And it looks like these actors and actresses, even if they don't know or they don't come from that environment or from that field, they're putting the work in, and they're like, hey, I got this role. Or Anya Taylor-Joy, who's in Furiosa, she looks like she's put the work in too. It's like that's a good trend that I see, that these
Yeah,
you see Austin Butler, there's rumors that he's going to play a young Val Kilmer in the Heat 2 sequel. And then there's footage on
that
him
would
on
be
social
fucking
media
awesome.
going to the gun range and doing the tactical stuff. And you
Oh yeah.
know it looks like these actors and actresses are like, if we get these roles, we're going, Catherine McNamara, Air Force One down, she put the work in. And it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
that's another trend that I'm saying that I'm happy with, that if they don't know it to begin with, they're putting the work in and they're training their asses off to make it look good. So that way they can do, if not all, most of it, or 80% of it, on
Well, like,
camera. And that's a good thing.
uh, I'm gonna say this. Like, I know how to shoot a gun. I've had people see images of the targets I've shot, like after 2 years of no shooting, and they're like, "Oh, you went a little wild." Well, when you go a little wild trying to aim at a paper target's head at what I was told was 25 yards, yeah, you're gonna miss a couple shots, but most of the shots that I had did hit my target. Uh, but given the opportunity and the chance, like if I was to get a phone call from Terran Tactical going, "Hey, we want to train you how to do this," I'm gonna jump on it, and better my skills. And I'm loving how, Austin Butler, I actually watched some of his stuff. He was faster than some of the people at Terran Tactical doing the moves. And I'm like, this is awesome. He did a fantastic job in doing part two. Uh I've seen him pop up in other things. Like I forgot he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then I saw a clip of him on there. I was like, oh shit, that's right. He did a good job in that one. And he had like a blink and you miss it moment with like Selena Gomez did in The Dead Don't Die. And I'm just like, I love how he put in the work for this new movie, or possibly for like young Val Kilmer. Um, McNamara, she's been putting the work. Like she does the physical stuff. I've seen videos of her working out with co-stars on her TV show Shadowhunters. If we get people who are willing to put in the work and the effort, good. Like I watched shit, I can't remember the name of it. It starred Josh Duhamel. Yeah, they put it on Netflix. It was like a very quiet release film on Netflix. And the only I think they advertised it poorly
Yeah,
because
I saw that
one of the
movie. I saw that.
promotion images looked like a duplicate of John Wick 2. But I saw him do the terror and tactical training for to prepare for this movie. Does He doesn't get John Wick like in it at all.
Blackout.
But
Yeah, that's it. Blackout.
yeah,
Yeah.
Blackout, that's it. But
I was
he put in the
disappointed in
work.
the ending of that movie. Like it kind of
Yeah,
filtered out. It kind of fizzled out at
yeah.
the end. But I mean, up to there was good. Yeah, and he did a good job.
But yeah, I enjoyed that, up until the ending. I enjoyed the film, and you could tell he put in the work.
Oh yeah.
Not just the gunfights, in the fights alone, he put in the work, and I love
And
it
he's
when
done
actors
action
put in the
he's
work.
done plenty of action in the past. So yeah, it's not like he
Oh
was
yeah,
strange.
he's done a plenty of action. It's just, you know, I think if we have like I said, the renaissance of action that we're going through, the actors need to put the work in. We don't, you know, I enjoy the Taken movies, but do I want the shaky cam? No. Do I want to see Liam Nielsen put in a little more work, a little more training in the stuff so we could actually see that he did it and they didn't cut away and, oh, here's his stunt double? yeah, I would like to see that because, like I said, don't get me wrong, the Taken movies are awesome. Well, except for the
Well,
third.
the first one is awesome. The first one is
Oh,
awesome, and then it kind of,
the first
and
one
then the
is, and
second
then
one was
just
okay, and then the third one was for good. I actually talked to Eric Jacobus about this on Friday, and he was like, "Taken, first one great, other one's not so great." I'm like, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's like I just didn't think the sequels, like the second one was good, was okay, but the third one was that was forgettable. I'm sorry, but it just was. I mean,
the
it was.
TV show is okay. I watched a few episodes, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah. All right, next question. Well, let's move on. Is a Highlander question. He says, with Henry Cavill and Chad Stahelski set to start filming Highlander reboot movie this year, is there a scenario where the upcoming movie could get a 2026 release date if they need a lot of time to do? Well, yeah. I mean, it's not going to come out next year, probably, because they haven't even started its pre-production. I mean, I'm sure that they're working on various aspects of it, but yeah, definitely 2026. I'm assuming it's going to be 2026.
I had my best friend from college. He was working with a director here in Spokane who they made movies here in Spokane. They were trying to get finance, and he flat out told me, it takes us 1 to 2 years to do this stuff, and
Mhm.
also depends on like how long it takes to edit it or like special effects for a movie. So the new Highlander, I know we mentioned that I was excited for it. You were looking forward to it as well, but
I'm
I
beyond excited
honestly
for it. I'm more than excited for it, and I'm a super fan of the
I
original. Don't get me wrong,
oh
but
yeah, yeah, so am
with
I.
what we've seen Henry Cavill do in The Witcher, and in terms of sword fighting, and in Chad Stahelski taking the helm as the director, I am
My
jacked up.
prediction
Jacked
though
up.
is for that we won't see the new Highlander. We'll see a teaser in 2026, but I get the feeling the movie's not going to come out till 2027. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, even if they start filming it next year, it can go. Listen,
yeah.
as long as they start filming by early next year, or like before mid next year, it can come. It definitely will come out in 2026. Because
Yeah.
depending how long the production is, and then of course post production. But I want to stay positive and say that hopefully it's going to be 2026. That we see it. But sure, hey, why the hell not? But once again, we have no flipping clue. We're just telling
Oh
you
yeah.
what we think. All right, next question. I have just watched an episode where you talk about the Crow reboot movie trailer. Well, thank you very much for watching. I am very curious to hear from your perspective. What is going to happen to the Crow franchise if the new Crow movie is not doing well? If it doesn't do well, you ain't going to see a Crow movie for a long, long time, if at all. If it's not having a huge success at the box office, does this mean that we will have to wait for another Crow movie in the next 10 years? Well, we probably won't see another Crow movie ever if this one does not make any money, probably. Or either that, they're just going to make shitty direct-to-video movies.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm gonna say the exact opposite. If this one doesn't do well, there's streaming.
Wolverine's joined
There's
us, and he says exactly what
yeah.
I said. First one was great. Second one was okay, or good, and the third was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think the third one was okay. I watched it. I was like, I'm never watching this. And it like, no
Yeah,
offense to Liam Neeson, but it was just the plot had been done to death, and oh, he's framed. Okay. And then it's like, and then the action was just like, it was like a retread, and like they were trying to do what they did
yeah. I
before.
almost fell asleep with that. But I honestly think if the Crow movie doesn't do well, we probably won't get another theatrical release for at least 10 years. But we'll get the
Like 10
shitty
years.
direct-to-video ones.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna end up getting the direct-to-video
Well,
sequels.
people don't understand this comic book is not well known. It's not mainstream. The only reason why it's any type of mainstream is because of the Brandon Lee movie, and that was a long time
Yeah.
ago. So it's like they're taking a shot at doing this movie now,
Mm-hmm.
So is it going to make money? Yes. I don't think it's going to listen. It's definitely going to make more money now that they moved it to August, and it's not going to go up on the same
Yep.
weekend as Bad Boys Ride or Die is coming out, which I called. But I'm going to go see it. I'm like, listen, I'm excited for it, and here's why. Because, like I said, the trailer looked good. The action, what they showed, looked good, and I liked how there was more of a supernatural element. Like, it even looked like the villain is more of like a supernatural like type
Yeah.
of like than just Michael Wincott, being a scumbag who has scumbags underneath them, and they're just scumbags.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But I don't think it's like, and here's why I'm mad. Like both Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and Abigail are underperforming. Civil War took #1 at the box office this week. There's no reason why. I don't understand why fucking people didn't come out and go see Gentlemanly Warfare and make it the #1 movie. I can see Abigail like taking #2 and then Civil War going to #3. I don't get movie going audiences anymore. I really don't. I mean,
No, let's see, because you mentioned that. I'll look it up right now. I'm like,
I just saw it on Variety. Variety posted it.
yeah, Abigail. Actually, Abigail is #2.
Yeah. No, yeah. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare was #4. #4. #4.
And Civil War.
What?
Cool. Civil War's #1 again.
Well,
like,
yeah,
you're the second person that I know who's. But yeah,
I don't understand why it was
don't tend to do
#4
well
though.
theatrically.
But still, it had Henry Cavill in it. Henry Golding. Everybody knows who Henry Golding is. It's like it had an Alan.
Well,
Alan freaking Richardson from Reacher. It's like, don't tell me this cast was not stacked. It was stacked.
I will top that one with King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
That movie,
Charlie Hunnam.
That movie.
Well, I was gonna say that movie came out right when Sons of Anarchy were still a popular show, and you have the star of Sons of Anarchy in it.
Yeah,
and it tanked.
But what killed King Arthur was bad word of mouth, because when people saw it on opening weekend, like, this movie's trash. This movie's getting good press and good reviews, so there's no reason why it should have been bumped up to at least #2. Good Lord.
My argument I was about to make, but I'm like, it's contradicted already, because the top 2 movies in the box office right now are rated R, but most rated R movies don't do well theatrically.
That's not true. That's not true. There's been
in the
plenty
past
of R-rated movies.
There's been some that have done pretty good, but it's typically speaking, like, certain. If a movie's PG-13, it tends to do a bit better. Because look at the #3 movie we got right now. That's Godzilla X Kong. That's still holding on to the top 5.
Well, and I'm happy for that movie too.
Oh yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like and then Wolverine says, "Yeah, I know Ungentlemanly Warfare hasn't gotten a release in the UK or in Canada.
That's where it's got to be most of its market.
But this is I'm talking about US box office sales. This is the US. I'm not even talking about worldwide, box office. Yeah, this is just America. So yeah. So, and he says, "Boy Kills World" comes out. Yeah, it comes out next week, which I can't go see unless something happens, which I doubt.
It might be the one time where I make a review for the site.
I get my daughter next week, but unfortunately, I'm going to have my daughter next week, and I can't, leave my daughter at home when I go to the movies.
Well, like, I'm looking at it right now. The movie Ungentlemanly Warfare made $9 million in the box office,
which is bullshit.
It's the only thing they've done for the box office is here in the US. So I'm like, all right, well, when the hell is it going to be released internationally? Because Guy Ritchie films do tend to do a bit better internationally than they do here in the US. Most people are like, British humor, whatever. But
okay, then why are they still giving Guy Ritchie money to make all these big budget movies then, if they don't fucking make
money? Well, he's a great director. That's the thing. He's a good director.
But if his movies don't make money, it doesn't matter how good of a director he is. It's if people are going to see the movie on opening weekend or not.
No, that's true. It's the opening weekends, but he's
a phenomenal director or filmmaker.
Oh yeah,
there's no argument there.
I enjoyed the hell out of watching Operation Fortune today, and I know it was a Guy Ritchie film. I've actually been watching. I need to finish it up, but The Gentleman on Netflix, which takes place in the universe of the movie that he directed, and he directed the first episode of the show, and I've enjoyed the hell out of it.
I have not seen the.
I think part of the stigma is he might be. Still, kind of associate with his ex-wife.
Yeah, I guess so. But I just listen. It should have made more than $9 million at the box office. I mean, R-rated or not, yes, it's incredibly violent, but but so was The Beekeeper, and that movie kicked all kinds of ass when it came out, and and it got good word of mouth. So I just don't understand why like this is getting good word of mouth and everything. So yes, it hasn't been released in Canada. Yes, I know, but I'm talking about U.S. box office sales. I'm not talking about international. It's got nothing to do with it. And so, yeah. So I'm just talking U.S. box office killed this movie, unfortunately, because it's not going to make because there's always a decline in the second week. So this movie was expensive, and it's probably not even going to make $50 million, at the box office. Whenever it gets released, and if they ever figure out the international shit, it's God love it. But I mean, this is just I think this movie's probably gonna live on home media, or streaming, and which is unfortunate, but I dug it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And like I said, the cast was all in. They were having fun. Henry Cavill was having the most fun out of everybody. And his character's great. And, and the action was awesome. And the interactions were awesome. I mean, and Carrie Elwes, his character's name is M. Is a total play on James Bond too, because we all know Ian Fleming, who's in the movie. He works underneath Carrie Elwes's character, and But I just loved the whole.
It was Ian Fleming's idea to do that, because he was the one that's like, let's just use the undesirable people because if they die, nobody's gonna really give a shit. Compared to all these, loved one, or these people who are loved by their families, or, do a good job, someone's going to miss them and someone's going to mourn them. But if we put these degenerates, these criminals, who gives a shit?
That's true.
So,
yeah. All right, moving on. I've done my tangent on that. Here's a good question. Wow, this is kind of meaty. Oh, and even this is more of a discussion. Hey, Shane, this is more of a discussion. Are you ready? Okay. Here's the question. Ever since the news of Chad Stahelski signing a new deal with Lionsgate, where he will be in charge of the John Wick franchise and the Highlander franchise, including doing original action movies going forward, does this show that Chad Stahelski is becoming the Kevin Feige of action movies, where he will go give the caring guidance and support, especially in a very similar like way that Kevin Feige did with the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That's a good question. I like that question.
So I will answer that with this question already, is like, he's not already.
Yeah,
because
listen, the only reason why is because the only thing he's really done like big time is the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
David Leitch branched off, and David Leitch has been doing other things. Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw. He's got the Fall Guy coming out, but Chad Stahelski has Chad has immersed himself in John Wick for the last 10 years, pretty much.
Yeah, true.
Now that he's starting to get away from that, unless he has to be called in to rescue the movie because the director isn't doing a good enough job.
The director's not
experienced. That's an argument for another time. But actually, no, it's not, because this kind of plays into his question. Yes, he is the new Kevin Feige because he got called in to fix Ballerina. So
shit. It's like he helped with the TV show, The Continental. I honestly would prefer the second season, if they get a second season, to be a little better, and they just spread the money out a little more, because, like you and I said, the first and the third episode, awesome. The second one, the one in the middle.
Listen, I gave it 3. I didn't do a proper review for the Continental, but I gave it a solid 3.5 out of 5. I liked it. It was it was good. It was the John Wick universe. I enjoyed the action, and yes, the middle part was sluggish, but that happens a lot. With movies. How many times have I done a review and said, "Hey," and then all of a sudden the brakes were put on, and it was like, and it's like, let's get back to what we're doing here. But he says to John Wick and Highlander, sure. No, I don't believe that. I feel that Chad Stahelski is going to branch off, and yes, he's going to be the go-to guy for like people to, like when people want to know action or like to do something or to like have, he's going to be, he's going to be,
he already is.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
He already is.
Like I said, he just immersed himself in the. He's sold his life to John Wick for the past 10 years because he did all those movies, pretty much back to back. Because once he was done with one, then it was pre-production for the next one, and then so now he gets to breathe a little bit. He's going to do Highlander, so I love it because this is the first non-John Wick thing that he's going to be doing, big budget wise. And I think it's just going to open the doors. And with him signing this contract with Lionsgate, they're going to give him the keys to the city and like, look, you do what you want to do because we have all of our faith in you, Chad. You will not stare at
he is an action director. I don't see him doing like something like the next Shawshank Redemption. I can see him if he did something like that and did a great job, good.
But here's the thing, he does action, but he does heavy storytelling with the action. So it's not like he has to do it. He doesn't have to do Shawshank Redemption. He could do heavy drama with the blistering epic action set pieces. So
I think, he's like the Kevin Feige of action right now. And doing Highlander, I think it's a test of his skills because it's out of his wheelhouse a bit. But, he had swordplay in John Wick Chapter 4. He had swordplay in that, so he's got a little bit of experience. He's got, I loved seeing him in Matrix Resurrection, playing Chad, basically. I think in an alternate version of himself, but he did a great job doing that. And I think when that man puts his mind to something, it's gonna be good. I think he's gonna put 110% into any project he does. He's gonna put in the work, and we're gonna see it on screen. So, he's
4 words. In Chad, we trust. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly.
The man knows what he's doing. And if you argue the fact against it, then you don't know action movies. I mean, listen, you can make the point that, like, yes, the John Wick movies as they went on became repetitious. There was a lot of, the same stuff going on. But I didn't have a problem with it. I loved it all. I was like, yes, I want to see more of what I just saw. It's like, so I didn't have a problem with that. That's my opinion, and if anybody wants to, and again, if anybody wants to argue with me, come on my show, but nobody ever does. Nobody ever wants to come on my show and argue with me. I don't know if that's, so there's always an open invitation, but I think John Wick Chapter 4 was one of the best action movies of the year. I mean, big time. And yes, does some of the scenes go on for long? Yeah, they're lengthy, but I was sitting there with my popcorn being like, he shot another guy, it's like, and the staircase fight scene at the end with him and Donnie Yen, that was just, that was epic. Oh god,
the Keanu Scott Atkins fight, Scott being in the fat suit, that was great too.
Yes. But that's the stair fight at the end was just like, oh my god, it just hurt. It looked like it hurt to film it. How many times did John Wick fall down? Every time he fell down, I'm like, I felt so bad for him.
I actually, being the gun guy that I am, I looked up how much the Pit Viper is, and I'm like, I am not spending $6,000 on a gun. I want it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's on Terran Tactical's website. The people who helped make it. It's a $6,000 gun, and I'm like, holy shit.
Why is it $6,000?
Well, all the reviews that I've seen of it, like videos and everything, it's got no recoil for one. So when a gun, like you shoot it, it goes up.
Yeah.
This one, it's like boom, 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 and you can keep going. So. And, another thing is, it wasn't a John Wick movie. It's gonna be expensive because of the name.
John Wick makes it more expensive.
Well, like, I know I know specifically the shotgun he used in the Dragon's Breath scene. That is a Genesis Arms 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun. I know this because I've held one, and I held one before it came out in the movie, and it was a $3,200 shotgun.
Yeah. Well,
So,
hey, there you go then. All right.
mhm.
Moving on. All right. I believe is this the last question I have? No, wait. I think I got a couple more. It's again, we're going back to Henry and Chad. He says, with Henry Cavill and Chad Stahelski set to start filming the Highlander reboot this year, what are the chances of Henry Cavill joining the John Wick franchise down the road? Hey, never say never. It's like,
Yep.
that's all I got to say. It's can he? Sure. Why the hell not?
I
Hey,
would.
let's
It's
give
like,
Henry Cavill his own franchise out of the John Wick universe. It's like, let's
yeah.
make him a whole new character. And so that's my
Well, give him his own franchise set in the universe, or hell, make him. Uh, if you want, make him a villain, one that's intellectually smart and could be John's rival intellectually and physically. But if they do that, I can kind of see him where, nope, you guys are done. No more trying to kill each other, and then give him his own spinoff because of how the character is. But
yeah. But yeah,
it'd be
right.
cool to see him. I do like the whole concept of expanding the universe, but come on, people. You could try to expand the universe so much and do so much, and it's gonna fall on its face. It could fall on its face.
Well, the key
So
is not
I
to like
say,
saturate it, like I think this
mm-hmm,
is like I think it was good for Ballerina to be delayed a year because that gives it some breathing
yeah,
room. So yeah, so as long as you stagger things out, and it's not like the MCU where they're releasing 5 movies a year and everybody got
Sup-
burnt out, and the
yeah.
product started to go
Surprisingly, there.
downhill because it was quality, it was quantity over
Hmm.
quality. I think like with the John Wick universe, like stagger things out, take your time, let it ferment, and and yeah,
I think that's been like one of the issues with the Fast and Furious franchise. I love those films. I enjoy the hell out of those films, but we don't need one every year, every 2 years. Give us some space. Shit, we were getting a Saw movie in the early 2000s. Uh,
well, I say make him the good guy, make him like have him be an offshoot like
kind of like
character.
Donnie Yen.
Yeah,
Kind of like Donnie Yen.
yeah, make him a good guy
But
and like give him his own set of movies. Who knows? The Highlander thing can take off too, and like he can make more
oh
than one
yeah, it's like I
Highlander
would love to
movie.
see the Highlander take off.
Yeah,
But no, like I was saying, we got a Saw movie like every year for how long?
yeah. I
And the
was
market
after
was
like I think I saw like the first 3 or 4, and after that I was just like
I
I'm just
finished
like I
after number
can't do it
two.
anymore. It's like the same shit. How morbid can we get, and
Yep.
how can we do more kills? And it's just, all right. I get it. I get
We
it.
we don't need a movie every single year. I'm loving how this year there's only one Marvel film coming out.
And it's going to be one of the best ones since Endgame. That's my
Yeah.
opinion. I mean, so I'm excited.
So yeah, yeah, and so I'm liking that there's only got to be one this year because I'm not gonna lie, I got burnt out on the Marvel movies. I stopped buying them after Black Widow. I still have to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Part of me is like morbidly wanting to be, the completionist and finish watching uh the Eternals. I still haven't seen the Marvels.
I have no
And it's
desire.
just
I
like
will
I just
never
want to
have the
finish the film.
desire to see the Eternals. I will never have the desire to watch the Eternals. I'm sorry.
So, am I looking forward to the new Captain America? Captain America is my favorite Marvel character. I do like that Sam Wilson is Captain America now. I like Falcon. I like Winter Soldier. But am I excited for the new movie? Am I
Really?
excited for the Thunderbolts movie? I would prefer to see another Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Mm.
Uh, I I do like, that they're doing Blade. So that's one I'm looking forward to.
I'm more excited about
But
Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus.
that will be cool. That will be cool because
It's
we'll
the
get John
Punisher's
Bernthal to come
back,
back as the Punisher.
baby. And you know what? I posted that article, right, about John Bernthal being in, it's official, because even though we knew that he was going to be in it, it's like when we finally saw him on set standing next to Charlie Cox, we were like,
yep.
Some dumbass had to post on social media. It's like, is this going to be where, Frank Castle like spends all the episodes deliberating whether he's going to be the Punisher or not? I'm like, obviously you didn't fucking watch the last season, because at the end of season 2, he fully takes on the mantle of the Punisher. So you're just stupid. So stop saying stupid
Whips
things.
out the 2 M4s and just goes to town on the guys. Yeah.
Yeah, when he walks up to him. Yeah, and it's like, yes, he became the Punisher. So you're just an idiot, whoever you are. I hope you're watching, because come on my show and I want to tell
yeah, it's like we don't need multiple movies in the same franchise coming out a year. Like you said, people got burnt out on the Marvel movies. I know I did.
I mean, yeah, because like pretty much it was only I liked Shang-Chi and I liked the last Spider-Man movie. Other than that, I was like, the Marvels, I didn't hate it, but I was just like, I'm not watching this again, so yeah. But like in terms, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to resurrect the MCU and bring it up.
So.
Like it's the Phoenix from the X-Men rising from the ashes. It's like, because Ryan Reynolds.
No, go with something different. Go with something different, because
I didn't know. I meant I was comparing it to that. I didn't say it was going to be in the movie scene. But I think Ryan Reynolds is going to save our souls and
I hope so. Yes,
and set the course right and steer the ship where it's supposed to go, because it's the best thing ever, and I can't wait for it. So, and let's see, the only upcoming Marvel movie I have this flavor is Deadpool and Wolverine. But I have no. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Well, okay, I don't want to say excited, but the only reason about the Thunderbolts is I just thought they chose the wrong. I mean, I like the Winter Soldier, but I thought like the Punisher should have been a part of the Thunderbolts, and yeah. So in terms of casting certain Marvel characters for the Thunderbolts, I was not well received with it, but
like I said, I'm looking forward to Blade. I'm a Blade fan. I saw the original.
Now you want to talk about a movie that's never going to come out? It's Blade. It's smart. It's like, oh my god.
I enjoyed the hell out of the original one. That was the first rated R movie I saw theatrically. I was in Germany. We saw opening weekend on the military base. Me and some buddies on the base that I lived on. Opening weekend, which was like 2 weeks after it was released here in the U.S. But I've always loved the character Blade. He's had an interesting backstory. I literally have 2 of the graphic novels right here in hand. I could just reach and grab them. So I'm looking forward to that one. I hope they do it justice. Gotta butcher. I'm not even gonna attempt to, but because I'd butcher his name,
and
I don't want it.
I don't.
Yeah,
I have to read his name half the time too. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I think he would do an excellent job as Blade.
I'm still torn. I don't.
It's another one. It's like, I'm looking forward to it, but once we see some footage, my opinion can change. So.
I know. I always say I have to see footage, and I didn't say. I just said I have to see footage. I have to see him all decked out, raring to go, and I have to see an action sequence, like him doing like a legit action sequence, and then like a talking sequence, where he's got the swagger, of Blade. And
I just think it's.
I'm not saying he's not a great actor. The guy's a great actor. I mean, he's the Academy Award, but I just, Wesley Snipes hit a grand slam. I even like Blade Trinity. Everybody hates Blade Trinity. I like Blade Trinity. I loved, Ryan Reynolds in it. He made me laugh. Jessica Biel looked hot, and her shooting those arrows was hot. And I
put in the work for that too.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And I'm like, I don't understand like what people were expecting, out of that one. But again, I
know,
enjoyed all of. I mean, was it Blade 2? No, like Blade 2 was kind of like
no,
the first of the
yeah, the pinnacle of the franchise.
pinnacle of the franchise.
Uh,
But yeah, I enjoyed Blade Trinity for what it was. It had Triple H in it. Like, how could you not love it?
yeah,
And the Pomeranian. You made a goddamn vampire out of a Pomeranian. It's like,
uh,
oh, good
that
times.
was funny.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he just came up with that as soon as I said it.
Hmm.
uh, and or when she's dying, he's like, "Hang on, kitten, I'll go get help." And she's like joking because like she's dying from the stuff they released in the air.
Hmm.
He made me. He was funny and he kicked ass in the action sequences. I
Oh
enjoyed
yeah.
it. So
Well, I just think it's funny because I'm a couple seasons behind, but the show True Detective, I
mhm.
think it's season 3. It's funny because we have Blade for the new movie co-starring with Deacon Frost from the
He's
original.
sideways.
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Wolverine. Yes, you see, even reading it makes me laugh because I could just see him in my head
Hmm.
saying it. He's like, fuck me
Hello,
sideways."
my name is Fuck You. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit! Listen, he's a good time. What can I say?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go on with what you were saying. I'm sorry. Blame it on Wolverine. He interrupted.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yep.
Wolverine. No offense. Go ahead.
Oh no, no. I was just thinking, it's interesting watching the new Blade and Deacon Frost from the first movie working together, being partners and cops in a TV show. And I'm like,
Nah,
was this foreshadowing in a way?
who knows? Like I said, but yeah, but like Blade's one of those movies. Like it was announced like 3 years ago. I'm just like,
Yeah.
who cares? I'm like, I've lost all interest in it, pretty much right now because it's like it's stuck in quicksand, and it's like every time you turn around,
Yep.
somebody's like left the project, or this actor left the project. Oh, they found a new director, and then like it's like
That's
good.
how it went with The Crow. So, we had Jason Momoa, we had
Well, yeah,
uh Bradley
and I lost
Cooper,
interest in
and
the Crow. I lost interest in the Crow. I mean, hopefully the Blade will
oh yeah.
actually like fucking be filmed, and like I'll be like, hey, all right, I'm excited again. But
Well,
right
when they
now,
flat
I'm
out
not
said,
excited.
yeah, when they said, yeah, Blade's got to be a rated R movie in the Marvel universe, I'm like, good. We need the darker characters to have this. Yep.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I would love to meet Ryan Reynolds. Oh, just to interview him for like 5 minutes, which is. Oh, I saw him
That
live
would be a fun
actually.
one.
I was at New York Comic Con, and he made a surprise appearance for uh, shit. What was that movie called? The video game one, where he was the video game character.
Oh yeah, Free Guy.
Free Guy, yeah. Like nobody knew he was going to be there, and I remember I was in line with my friend because we were going to see the panel for it, and like it was just supposed to be the director Sean Levy and some a couple other people, it's like a few other actors from it, and then like we were standing in line, and all these people were starting to get excited, and I leaned over to the one girl. Hey, what's going on? She's like, I just got a text that Ryan Reynolds is going to be on the panel. And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, that's what they're saying, And then I'm like, oh, I'm like, at first, you're like, I don't know. But then we sat down, right? And we were like three rows back. And then he comes out. I was just like, oh my God, it's Ryan Reynolds. And he was funny. And and people were asking him questions. And like, if somebody asked him a dumb question, he'd make fun of them. Oh, it was a good time. Yeah. Yep. So he's the shit. Oh,
Oh
we have
yeah.
more commentary. Last thing I heard about the new Blade is the Blade has been stripped down the face. Yeah, and it's going to be a period piece. So what the hell's that mean? Like he's not going to have his coat, and he's not. Was he going to
No,
be wearing
no.
like a?
What I think they're gonna be doing, because this is actually in my hand, like his original appearance, like when he came out, because it says it took place in the 70s.
Does
Like
that?
his first appearance was in the 70s. So I think
Yeah,
that's the whole reason for the period pieces. They want to do a Blade origin story.
we don't need a
And
Blade origin story. I'm so done with origin stories. I know how
Origin.
his mom got bit by a fucking vampire when she was pregnant with him. We know. And then he became the Daywalker. It's like, just make a fucking Blade movie and have him kick ass. I don't need to see I don't need to see the Waynes get shot again. It's like, come on. It's like, how many times can we see the Waynes get shot? And how many times can we see Uncle Ben get shot? It's like, come on already. You know, it's like, oh my God. It's like,
True.
I'm so done with origin story.
That's part of the reason why I like the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies is we didn't get the origin
Spider-Man.
story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm already Spider-Man. Uncle Ben's dead. It's like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, he's been dead. He's not okay. We're not gonna see it. You know, it's like, thank you. Yeah. And plus he nailed the role. I thought Tom Holland might be like, everybody likes like Tobey Maguire, or even Andrew Garfield got all popular again when he showed up in the last one. But I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I think he nails the teenage vibe of Peter Parker more than the other ones did. I thought. Yeah. That was my opinion. That's all. Take it for what you want. I was excited. Do we have anything else?
I was gonna say, what's their next question that we've been asked?
Hang on. Sorry. I was gonna put these on here, but he wrote too long and it was only 200 words. And I wasn't able to do it, so now I have to look it up. So hang on a second. All right, here we go. Can we expect to get any official update on when Scott Adkins' movie One More Shot will get a Blu-ray release? Yes and no, because when I was doing my due diligence, I was doing research. It is available on Blu-ray. It's not officially here in the States, but you can order this and it's region free. So there you go. Knock yourself out.
I was gonna say, I might have to do that eventually. Because
I actually, and it's $16.99. I'm like, that's a good price. Yep. I'm like, I might have to order this when I hang up. It's like,
well, like here, I'll say this: like a movie that I pre-ordered 2 weeks ago, it doesn't come out till next month, and you know that I'm excited for the 4K remaster of The Guyver, and I was like, I'll pre-order it now because I know the price is gonna go down closer. It was like $60. Now it's $45 on Amazon.
See, now it's just teasing you, Shane. It's like, listen, what if I drop a couple more dollars? What are you gonna do?
It's been pre-ordered. It's I have a copy reserved. Thankfully they're like, I just listened to what was it? Dissect This Film episode on The Guyver.
I don't want it to come to Netflix because Netflix gets rid of it. I'm going to order this on eBay. It's physical and I can watch it as many times as I want. And I won't turn on Netflix one day and it'll be gone. So it's great that it's coming to Netflix, but I'm so sick of.
I think what I will do is like, if it's on Netflix, I'll watch it on Netflix. And then if I really like it, I'll probably say hell with it and buy the physical copy.
It's a good movie. Is it as good as the first one? The finale is not. The finale in the first one trumps the finale in this one. But then I said for the second one, it was a marathon, not a race. So like, even though like the ending kind of fizzled out, it was like all through the movie. So I wasn't particularly upset that the ending wasn't, because we all know that in the first one, he ran that gauntlet at the end. It was just him by himself. And it was the one shot action sequence, which he did by himself, which was phenomenal. And this one, he does fight Michael Jai White, and stuff like that. But then there's no like real like big time set piece at the end, which I was kind of disappointed in. But it's still a solid action movie, and it's still Scott Adkins kicking ass. And I'm just gonna throw this up here that I usually do. And that's just a little snippet. Like, that's not even half of what he does. Like, that's just one kick. So it's like, but yeah, it's a good movie. Is it worth $16.99? Hell yeah. I'm like, I'll buy it for $16.99 and region free Blu-ray.
I'm gonna say, I think it's his trademark move from earlier in his career. It's like, we need Scott to do the Guyver kick again. Because I think but he might not be able to do it now since he's a bit older and he's had surgeries on like his
He
knee
has,
and his
and he'll
back.
admit it. Like, like I've interviewed him in the past, and on his show he says how, like, because he was saying, I was actually gearing up for my interview with Eric Jacobus, and I was watching his interview with Eric Jacobus, and he was saying, I think it was the Eric Jacobus one, or it was Bren Foster, because he did both of them. He interviewed both of them, so I watched both of them, and he had said that his left leg is not as strong as it used to be. He's like, I could still kick with it, I could still hit with it,
Mhm.
but it's definitely not as strong as it used to be. So,
Yeah, it's Guyver. Yep, he
yeah,
definitely,
you got no argument here. It's like, absolutely.
definitely.
All right, well, I'll get this off.
And
But
Wolverine,
there
if
you go,
you like,
Tan. That answers your question, Tan. It is available for Blu-ray. Go on eBay, and you can get a region-free Blu-ray copy of One More Shot at a reasonable price, which I'm probably going to
yeah.
do when I end this.
Well, I'm gonna throw this out there because Wolverine just mentioned Guyver. Check out this book. There's e-copy of it. I have it. I'm slowly reading it myself when I get time. It's called Budget Biomorphs. It's the history of the Guyver movies. Like they talk with, or they're talking about the story of how Screaming Mad George got involved in. Everybody got involved to make this film, and it's written. The foreword in the book before they actually get into it is written by David Hayter, who starred in Guyver too. And so yeah, it's like Budget Biomorphs.
Was he the lead?
I
Was he the lead in Guyver too?
Yeah, he was the Guyver. He was the main character.
Yeah, he wasn't as interesting as in the first one. I'm sorry, he just didn't have the screen presence. I felt. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like you guys can see it right there, the little teal box that I have on the bottom. That is Guyver Unit 1. I'm a fan. I have the anime. I it's I love those movies. I wish I can find the manga at a decent price.
Yeah, I'm a fan too. I just don't have the money to buy all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So it's like, unfortunately, I mean, and the only problem I say, I have an addiction. Like, if I ever have money to spend, like I did last week, I buy more Snake Eye shit. It's like, did I need to buy another Snake Eyes? I'm like, yeah, no, but I mean, I did. It's like, so it's like,
I
how
was gonna
many
say one of mine's up there, so
how many Snake Eyes and Timbers can I have? Well, right now I have 3 of them. So
I remember I sent you a link on that from Hasbro, and you went, "You
yeah, but yours was like
bastard."
$150 or something. I'm like, I'm on
It was a
disability.
collector's one.
I can't spend $150.
True.
But yeah, on
But
drugs.
yeah, when you saw it, you were like, "You bastard, I want it, but I
Yeah, I
can't
was
afford
like,
it
you
right now."
bastard. Hey, as soon as I start working again, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see that
Oh
on my
yeah,
show. Which anime iteration? I have the 2005
both.
series on Blu-ray.
Oh, it's the 2005 on Blu-ray. The original one from the 80s. I found it one time, physical media DVD. I purchased it. It's got it was in a box set. It was all 12 episodes, 6 on each, on 2 discs. Um, the original OVA that inspired this anime series, Out of Control. You can find it on YouTube. That's how I watched it. It's in Japanese and subtitled. But the 2005 one, I can reach over on the shelf right near me and grab the 2005 anime. I prefer the 80s one over the 2005 one, but you know, I saw that in the late 90s. I was a freshman in high school when a guy that like my best friend who lived across the street from me, his best friend that he uh had in Japan had moved to Germany, and he happened to have it, and he let me borrow it. And I've been in love with Guyver, the anime, since that. I actually watched the original movie when it aired on Showtime, or no, Cinemax in the afternoon, and I thought it was pretty badass. Yeah, it's on paperback. It is. It's a bit more expensive than the e-copy. It's like $20 more because it's one of those ones that when you order it, they print it out. So e-copy was like $20 and the paperback was 35 to 40. So it was like I gotta go with the e-copy because at the time I wasn't making a whole lot of money with the job.
Yeah.
I had I turned 40 in January, and it was one
I
of those
wish
times
so.
where my grandma sent me a gift card, and that's how I paid for it.
Yeah, God bless my
But
mom. Like, since
yeah,
I've been off work and stuff like that. She's like, I always look at my bank account and like, you've received $40 from, I'm like, thanks, mom. She's like, go take Bailey out and do something with. I'm like, yes, mom. I'm like, thank you.
yeah,
And then she'll send me like $30 and she'd be like, buy yourself something nice. I'm like, thanks, mom.
I was gonna say, oh no,
Um,
see, right now I'll say this: the Kindle price on Amazon is $9.95 for Budget Biomorphs. The paperback is $32, and the hardcover is 42. I had to go with the cheaper price because I own it.
Nice.
I
Well, that's what I do now. Like I go on
uh,
Fandango at home and I look at the deals. I'm like, the $5 deals and
hmm
uh because again, like, I'm like, but like I tell you, like, yeah, I know I'm on disability and stuff like that, but I'm still paying my bills. I'm still supporting my daughter,
Oh
but I
yeah,
gotta live, and I'm like, I get excited because I know it's streaming, but like right now, like if I can find a movie for $5 on Fandango at home, I'll get it. And then, like, if further down the road I can get the physical copy of it, I'll do that too, but because right now I'm like debating because like the 4K of the Beekeeper is now $9.99 on Fandango. I'm trying to wait for the physical copy to come out in May.
that comes out Tuesday.
Is
So
it this Tuesday?
yeah, I believe it's this Tuesday.
Oh shit. Well, then I don't have to worry about it then. Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, but the last one I bought was shoot, what was it? Um I can't remember. It must have not
the
been.
last movie I bought digitally was only because I like the cast. Yep, it was it. Yeah, you can never. I watched it like it was Cinemax or HBO, and I didn't finish it, and then I rented it from a movie store in Germany, and that's how I finished it. I don't know where it is, but I swear I still got the DVD of it somewhere that I found at Hastings back in the day for Guyver. But like I was saying, the last movie I bought digitally because I like the cast on it, the previews make it look funny, is the movie Anyone But You with Glenn Powell, and it was $7.99 on uh, Vudu. I'm gonna call it Vudu until the day I die, I swear, because if you
I've
click
moved
on the
on.
app on your
I've moved on. It's Fandango at home. I'm
yeah,
used to it. Let's see. What was the last one I did? Hang
and
on.
then I got Land of Bad for $9.99. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got Land of Bad, and then I got Best of the Best 3 for $5. I was like, yes, Philip
oh,
Ree. I
nice.
love that movie. That's the one where he fights the white supremacists. That's like actually one of my.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably like my
With
favorite
Gina
Best of the Best
Gershon.
movie. Like, even over the original and the second one, I love the third one because it's so heavy with the drama and it's pretty serious if you think about it. And he just kicks ass in it. I love that movie. It was five
I
bucks.
gotta.
I'm like, I can't pass it
I
up.
watched the. Oh yeah, I watched those movies way out of order. It was two. Yeah, I'm gonna admit
Wow, the
that
Guyver was his
poster.
introduction to Mark Hamill. Oh, okay. Wow. There you go.
I'd have to say for me it was Star Wars, obviously.
Mine was yeah, well, yeah,
I
I was 1977. I was a 4-year-old. And again, I'm old.
yeah,
I'm sorry. It is what it is.
but you know, I was born in '84, so I watched them when they were on TV. But Mark Hamill being like, I thought Mark Hamill was the hero, the main guy in that one because of the cover.
Yes, the cover made you believe it because it was they did
Oh
the
yeah.
split shot of the face.
hmm You,
Yeah.
you got Mark Hamill on one side, mustached Mark Hamill, by the way, and then
Yeah,
the
with the
Guyver
camera
on the
and
other
the
side.
Guyver on the other. Oh, Mark Hamill's the Guyver. No, that's called false advertising to make you get the movie.
Well, if you look at like international posters for the Guyver, you see the Zoonoids in the Breakfast Club pose, uh, and they called the movie Mutatronics. Yeah, Mutatronics the movie. Yep.
You know what part I like?
I'm
I like
home
when
to kill a clown.
I like when he points the gun to the kid's head at the end, the one, that shaved his
Hmm.
head. He's like, "When are you gonna learn, kid?" And he's like shitting his pants, and then he just walks away. I like that part. That was my favorite part. He's like,
Yeah,
"When
I
are you gonna
ended up
learn,
seeing
kid?"
the best 2, 1, 3, and then 4. So that was the
Listen,
order
the
of the
original
movies I
Best of the
watched.
Best is the cheesiest martial arts movie ever made. Oh my god, the crying and the like. Eric Roberts alone in the original Best of the Best, he just poured it
Yeah.
on thick, thick. The second one was just like totally like went in the did a 180 and was like this big time action movie, because then they're taking on like Rolf Mueller and all these killers and stuff like that. But like I love the third one. The fourth one was good. He goes up against the counterfeiters, and there's a pretty good solid fight scene, where he takes on all the guys that are padded up, which was pretty cool.
I
But
I
it
think it
wasn't as
was.
good as the rest of them. It wasn't as solid as the
Yeah,
rest.
I didn't care that they kill you know the woman he marries, which they were hinting at was Gina Gershon's character from the third one.
Yeah.
I was like,
But
oh, come on.
it was still Philip Ray kicking ass. I mean, I still have
Yeah,
it.
Philip Ray did a great job.
I still have it. I'm a completist. What can I say? But yeah, the third one's always been my favorite. Then it's probably the second one, and then the first one's probably the third.
It's like whenever I saw Arlie Ermy in a film, I had fun.
No, he was a douchebag in the third one though. He was totally oblivious to what Mark Ralston was doing, from Aliens. Like, yeah, can't you see this
Hmm.
guy's a psychopathic killer? Hello. It's like he's like, I'm teaching separation, not killing, not annihilation. I'm like, dumbass.
Mm.
He is. It's like, wake up and open your eyes. And then of course he kills him. I'm like, well, you should
Yep.
have opened your eyes a
You
lot
should have
faster.
known better.
You should have known better. It's like so. Oh God. Wow. Look at that. We 2 hours and 7 minutes. Look at that. And it wasn't even that big of an action week. And we still talk and freaking
Well, it's like we spent half the episode talking about answering questions, and if there's any more, I don't have a problem answering one more before we log off.
I don't know. Hang on. I'm looking. Sorry. Like I said, I starred all these before I went online, but I think I got them all. I think
All right.
yeah, I think so. Yep. We're good.
But yeah,
So
like,
yeah, here I put that one up.
yep. Yeah, I gotta say, like, I believe we're in a new renaissance of action movies. I
Hopefully.
remember how they kind of petered out for almost, what, 20 years,
Mm,
it felt like.
maybe.
And then, well, it's
I
like
don't
the
remember a time
2000.
where I wasn't ever enjoying action movies though. Like whether it was
Yeah.
in the theater or if it was at the video store or then if it was on streaming. I've always enjoyed like I've never like had like a stretch of time go by where like, oh my God, I have not seen a good action movie lately. Like I've never had that happen to me. That's just me. But so I mean, because I always, like I said, I always find the good and even like the really bad stuff. I mean, it's like in the '90s, like the movie could have been total shit, but if it had a good fight scene in it, I'm like, oh, I'll get
Oh, yeah.
it. So, but even that, but no, I there was never a time where where I thought there was a drought where I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen a good action movie in so long. I mean, I've been lucky enough to like at least from my viewpoint or my opinion watch movies where I was still enjoying them for what they were. So
I will admit there's some action movies that, I thought was going to be absolute crap, and I enjoyed the hell of it. I thought it was a lot better than it actually was, and uh, I just thought it was interesting because, like, we had actor Kellen Lutz do Arena with Sam Jackson, and it was a like virtual reality backgrounds and stuff, and he's fighting people to the death. I
Mhm.
enjoyed that one. There's certain films where I'm like, they could have done a lot better, but like you said, if there's like a decent fight in it, it makes it up to me. So
No, but what I'm saying is, there's never been a long stretch of time where I did not have a good, solid action movie come out, regardless of how it was released. I've always had something to watch or something new to watch that I thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, I'm a fan of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, and of course, it turns 30 on the 25th this week, which makes me feel older because I am.
Oh god, it makes me feel old too. I remember watching the movies on the Fox like Action Zone time block.
And then
Watching
Ryan
those.
Gosling as a young Hercules.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Ryan Gosling. Look at him now. Yipper.
Yeah, I just saw. I watched a couple clips from the episode of Saturday Night Live that he did, and it was weird seeing him rap in like a country song that they were saying in it.
He was good on Saturday Night Live, though. He's. I enjoy Ryan Gosling. I mean, he's a good actor.
Seeing him
He
dressed
does a lot
up
of
as
solid
Beavis
movies.
from Beavis and Butthead. So
he looks like he's a lot of fun.
oh, he's a fantastic actor. Don't get me wrong. He does a great job.
And I can't wait for the Fall Guy. Like I see they show the preview every time I go to the movie. Like, oh, here's the Fall Guy preview for the 15th time. It's like, but I enjoy it every time I watch it. And I think him and Emily Blunt are they look great together. And I still laugh, and I'll laugh when I go see the movie where she's like, I think we should keep it super professional. He's like, do you want to make out? She's like, no. She's like, what do you want to do? He's like, talk. It's funny.
He's like, yeah, that's what I'm totally into now. It's like, I'm not into the other stuff. I'm
totally
into
this. All throughout the trailer, he's like, and then we beat the shit out of them. It's like,
yep.
And is that the same? The black guy with the dog? Is that the same black guy with the dog that's from John Wick Chapter 4? Am I not mistaken?
That I
or
have
is it,
to look
is
up.
it just another black actor with the dog? Because I was watching it and I forgot to look it up earlier, and I'm like, is that the same guy that's in it? Like, yeah, look it up.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, I've been trying my hardest to avoid like anything that could possibly be spoiler.
Oh,
like,
you don't know what I'm talking about? Sorry.
So no, I'm looking at it right now. No, it's only one I'm seeing is Winston Duke, and he was a different one.
Oh, that's Winston Duke,
different actor.
Okay, all right, my bad. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to say anything, but I it goes by real fast in the trailer. That's why. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it took me a second to realize that Aaron Taylor Joy was in it.
Anderson. Okay, yeah, all right. So it's just I just thought maybe because it was David Leitch that was directed, it was maybe a homage to John Wick Chapter 4, but it's not. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. That's fine. But like I said, it goes by real fast in the trailer, and I never remembered to look it up and see if that's who it was. But no, it's not. Okay.
It's like I also enjoy Winston Duke. The last thing I remember seeing him was Spencer Confidential on Netflix.
Yeah, it was okay. I watched it once. I haven't gone back to it. I mean, it was solid, but it wasn't it didn't leave a long lasting impression on me. No offense to Mark Wahlberg, and they were supposed to make more of those, and it just never happened. So
I remember the TV show Spencer for Hire.
Robert Urich. Yeah, I mean, the late great Robert Urich. I used to
watch Avery Brooks.
And Avery Brooks.
Avery Brooks is Hawk.
Yep. And he had his own spinoff there for a time. So, yeah, of course I remember. See, I remember. But all right, well, there you go. That's the weekly intel. Boy, did we cover a lot for not having a lot to talk about. Good Lord. God, can we blow some air? Jesus, holy shit. All right. Well, do you have anything to say before we go off the air?
I just asked the people to check out the episode I'm posting Thursday on Beyond White Space, where you were actually kind enough to be the guest on it for me.
I was.
I
watched the movie. I literally got done watching the movie 10 minutes before I'm almost. He's texting me. He's like, I'm in the chat room. I'm like, I'm not done yet. I'm like, 10 more minutes. I'll be there in a minute.
Yep. And then But
And then
yeah,
it was funny because not to
you
give
know,
anything away, but you asked me like, "What's your history with the movie?" And I'm like, "Well, I just got done watching it 10 minutes ago. That's my
yeah.
history with the movie." There you go, everybody. Because
Oh,
usually, like, it's like, "What's your history?" Like Roadhouse. Oh, I remember seeing it when it came out, and this one it was like, "Yeah, you told me about it on my show, and then I just got done watching it 10 minutes ago." That's my history with the show. But it was like I said, not to give anything away, but it's a good time, and we talked about it, and and then of course we do what we do here. We ran on other subjects and got
oh yeah.
distracted by shiny objects
Uh,
because that's what happens.
I'm gonna say I'll give a movie recommendation. Like I said it on my show is Dune Part 2. Great
Mhm.
film. I recommend that
I'm going
one.
to. I swear to God, I'm going to watch the first one and then watch the second because I was waiting for the second
I
one.
think I'm gonna also I'll harass Charlie about it too, because we mentioned it on my show when we did our Roadhouse and Future of Action movies. He was like, "Yeah, I haven't seen it because I haven't seen the first one. I knew it was gonna be a two-parter, so I'm gonna recommend that one."
But then, like, I want to
I
watch it, but then they're like so long, and I'm like, I
That's
need
the
endurance.
thing
I
is
need
there.
endurance
Well,
to watch these
I'll tell you
movies.
this one. The first one, you kind of feel it.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those ones that you kind of feel it. And the second one, I I saw it theatrically, and it didn't feel like it was almost 3 hours long.
Nope. It's almost 3 hours long. Oh, goody. I
Two
love
hours
this.
and 49 minutes.
That's with credits, hopefully, right? So maybe it's like two and a half.
That's with the credits, yeah.
Okay.
But it didn't feel that way at
Okay.
all.
Yes. All right. So Shane has his episode of Beyond White Space with yours truly that he's going to be posting on Thursday. So I will share that on my website once you put it out. For me, boy, do I got a lot of shit. I got Eric Jokabis up there, Bren Foster, super awesome interview. My reviews for Rebel Moon, which, sorry, I liked it. If I disappoint anybody, and of course, Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is one of my top three. So it's basically it's like Beekeeper, Land of Bad, and Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare right now for me because yeah, super excited. And then of course I had the big Bren Foster was nice enough to share the exclusive with me of his posters for Life After Fighting, which is coming out on June 7th. I told him I will promote this any chance I get, so that's what I'm doing. Vertical Entertainment is releasing it. I'm sure it's going to be on streaming video on demand on June 7th, courtesy of Vertical Entertainment. If you know who Bren Foster is, he needs no introduction.
Yeah, I
The man
saw
is
the Maximum
devastating.
Conviction with
Yeah,
eh,
devastating.
with
His kicks. Holy cow. And I talked about that. Like, watch my interview with him. And I just sit there and fawn over him. I'm like, your kicks are incredible. It's like, how do you practice those? Like, how do you start to practice something where you spin like 8 times before you land back on your feet? And he just laughs and he's like, it's just like anything else. It's like, you do some gymnastics and it's like, okay. It's like,
I think he studied at the altar of tokusatsu films where they
yeah.
have to do the crazy jumps. So yeah.
But yeah, but real quick before we go, let me just show you a little snippet of it. I'll find a good part. Hang on. Let's see here. All right, we'll do this part right here. Okay.
Yeah, breaking a board.
Do you get dizzy?
Board. Sorry,
What
do
the
you get dizzy?
hell?
yeah, you know what? It's just training. You get
Right.
used to, but you do get a little bit dizzy. Like you do about 5, and then after 5, it does start to spin. But you just got to keep maintaining that focus. But it's just repetition. It's just you keep practicing, you keep practicing, you keep practicing, and you miss, you fall sometimes, you slip sometimes. But then where I was breaking the boards, that's one of the events for the Australian Martial Arts Spectacular Series. But you just hope that you've done enough training that when it comes to showtime, that you're getting everything first go. Because in a demonstration scenario where you got lots of people around watching, you don't want to miss. You want.
Yeah, so that's just a little. I asked him, I was like, "Was that a real tiger?" Like behind, he's like, "Yes, it was." I'm like, "I'm sure it was tamed and trained." He's like, "Yeah, and he had it on a leash." I'm like, "Well, that's good." Like just in case.
Well,
It
seeing
looked
him
at you
do
like Munzer,
the
and
Dalton,
that's-
I was like,
yeah. Yeah, and he's doing the thing. Yeah, you're ripping the thing out like Dalton. Yeah, because they were like measuring like the force of pounds, like and like how hard these guys were hitting and stuff like that. And it's like it's 2 hours long, and it's just awesome. We talk about his movies and his training and all this good stuff. Of course, his new movie he's got coming out, so make sure you check it out because it's a good time. And he's a phenomenal actor and martial arts star. So that's what I got.
Jeez. Seeing a 2,300-pound pressure kick, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, right? It's like, wow. All right. So anything else, Shane, before we wrap up?
Not that I can think of right now, no.
All right. So this week coming up, well, tomorrow I have physical therapy. So if you don't see me for a couple days, you'll know why. But even if listen, I'm not a wimp. So it's like, I've been through this before. So I'm not stressing, it's like, this is my third time. So it's like, I know what to expect. But Boy Kills World comes out this week, and oh God, do I want to see this movie? And I have to wait, but it's okay because I get my daughter and I love my daughter and I want to spend time with her. So it's okay. But everybody else is going to have their reviews come out and I'll be late as always. But you know what?
I might be a shit and just poke you a little bit because I'm kid free for the next 2 weeks. So I might like, hey, John, I saw this.
Well, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. So, don't spoil it.
Or I might go see Abigail. I haven't decided.
Go see it. Like, it's worth it. I mean, like I said, it's a good time. Like I said, I'll decide if I want to do a review for it. But yeah, like I said, I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5. I had fun with it. And there's buckets of blood, there's humor, there's scares. There's this little girl in a ballerina outfit killing people, and there's more to it than that. Like I said, there's a lot more to the story, so it's a good time. All right, so with all that, I have nothing else to say. So follow the golden rule, like Shane says at the end of his podcast: be nice until it's time to not be nice. Treat others as you would want to be treated. The golden rule. And just be nice to everybody, and let's just talk action movies. And if you have a difference of opinion, be respectful. And if anything, you better be able to back it up because we'll chew you up and spit you out if you're unprepared. All right. So for Shane, the Action Nerd Logans, I am John from ACTION-FLIX.com. Make sure you check out his website, The Action Nerd, dudes being dudes talking movies. And of course, my website, ACTION-FLIX.com. We are your ultimate destination for your action fix, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. All right. So until next time, everybody, have a good one. And we will see you hopefully next week. Bye-bye.
Yep.